It's the NFL on CBS Week 8. We join you today from San Diego, California. The Chargers playing host to the Tennessee Titans from Qualcomm Stadium. And welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Happy Halloween. Great to be with you here in Southern California. Tennessee Titans, one of the biggest surprises in the NFL this season. A win today. They moved to 6-2 at the midway point. And Dan, they've got their starting quarterback back in the lineup here today.
But Vince Young has struggled in the last 4 times against San Diego. They're 4-0, the Chargers are, against the Titans. But Vince Young told us this is a totally different team. The turnovers that have caused Tennessee in the past are over. He's more mature, more comfortable. And to prove it, just look at his 7 TDs to only 2 interceptions in 6 games this season. And it appears the wait for wide receiver Kenny Britt to evolve into a difference maker on the perimeter is over for Titan fans. Last week, all he did was have a career day against a tough Philly defense. He gained the most receiving yards in the NFL this season, averaged 32 yards a catch. Now, Ian, that will help open up the running lanes for running back Chris Johnson, and that's big for Tennessee.
Well, for San Diego, it has been a house of horrors so far this season. That's a Halloween reference for you, Dan.
Nice mask.
Thanks. The turnaround, that's what everybody's waiting for in San Diego. It's happened before. Is it going to happen again? Those are the questions that Norv Turner and company are dealing with.
Well, and the heat is on Norv Turner, but what he's not used to is all the turnovers. -7 turnover ratio is the worst in the league. But he knows his team is capable of another San Diego turnaround. But in order to start this year's version, he told the team, quote, "We have to win just 1 game." And that, of course, must start today.
And the weather here in San Diego, 65 degrees, sunny skies. A lot of rain yesterday morning, but no clouds expected the rest of the day. Jeff Fisher, the only team in the NFL he has not beaten as a head coach. That's right, the San Diego Chargers. He's a Southern California guy himself. Chargers have won the toss. They will receive. Rob Baronis will kick it off to Darren Sproles, who has not put up huge numbers in the return game this year. Just a long of 39. We're underway from Qualcomm. Chargers in desperate need of a win, and Sproles will take a knee to open things up at the 20-yard line for the Chargers. Philip Rivers, he's adopted that same philosophy as Norv Turner. Just win 1 game and you can worry about the future at another time. They just need a win.
Yeah, he said they're not frustrated, though, in the locker room, despite their 2-5 record and 3 straight losses. Still confident, but the challenge today, with all the wide receivers that are injured, is going to be huge for Rivers. He'll be looking to Gates and Sproles to pick up the slack.
They open up a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line in a double tight end set. Ryan Matthews in the backfield on 1st down. They'll go to the ground game. It's up the middle. Matthews is driven off to the side by Jason Jones. They're waiting for that breakthrough game from the rookie out of Fresno State. As we take a look at the starting offense for the San Diego Chargers, good to have Marcus McNeil back in the fold. McNeil, 2-time Pro Bowler. He admits that there was some rust coming back into the lineup after the long holdout. Backs and receivers, wide receiver is a huge issue because of the injuries, and Shea Ajira-Tutu, the rookie out of Fresno State, getting the start with Nene out, Malcolm Floyd out, Buster Davis out as well on a 2nd and 8 now for San Diego. After the 2-yard gain, Matthews again up the gut, not much there, and he takes it to the 25 for a pickup of 3. Defensively for the Tennessee Titans, it's that bend but don't break philosophy. Up front, Senderick Marks in for the injured Tony Brown, who sits this one out with a knee injury. Linebackers, Jeff Fisher very impressed with the way Gerald McGrath has been performing after the 4-game suspension to start the season. And in the secondary, the youngster, Alteron Werner, rookie out of UCLA, already has 2 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries on the young season. 3rd and 5 now for San Diego. Rivers operating out of the gun. This is the #1 ranked offense in the NFL. And the pass knocked down. Stephen Tulloch getting a hand on it. The Chargers go 3 and out to open things up.
Yeah, very conservative start for the Chargers. 2 running plays on 1st and 2nd down. Just get them 5 yards, and then the pressure right up the middle against Philip Rivers. Looks like number 91 right there. Got his hand on it. That's big Jason Jones at 6'5". Knocked that ball down before he could get to a wide receiver.
Mike Cyphers will punt it away. Mike Wint, their 5th snapper of the season, and it's blocked. The special teams troubles continue. It's a safety. Nick Schomer busting through. Tennessee takes the early lead 2-0.
Boy, and Schomer just got in scot-free. Left side of the screen. Here he is right here. Watch him just come right in. Totally unblocked. Great move there. Got by the tight end, Randy McMichael. McMichael didn't lay a glove on him. Block went all the way out of the back of the end zone. That's a break for San Diego, because if it stays in the end zone, this will be an easy Titan touchdown.
Special teams troubles all season long for this San Diego team. There's a reason why they're ranked number 1 in offense, number 1 in defense, yet they're 2-5. Well, Norv Turner, in our meetings on Friday, what did he talk about? It's been a weird season. He related it back to the year in Washington where they were losing in strange ways. And I think San Diego is not going to be able to overcome these issues week in and week out, no matter what they've done in the past. I know they've been slow starters in the past, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Well, it's inexcusable, too. 4 blocked punts on the season. And this is just the 8th game of the season, and that's just the first quarter of the 8th game.
And a free kick for Cyprus. Mariani, dangerous return man, crossing the 30 and then bottled up at the 35-yard line. Special teams. This is a trend that has been a huge problem throughout the year. Week 1, Dexter McCluster, 94-yard punt return for a touchdown. It continued into week 3, Leon Washington, 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. Week 5, 2 block punts, 1 return for a touchdown. Week 6, Nate Kading, field goal block. Week 7 against New England, following a false start, Chris Brown missing a 50-yard field goal, which would have tied it and possibly forced overtime. Tennessee on offense for the first time. Double tight end set. They got a 2-0 lead. Scaife and Stevens in there. Chris Johnson slowed down as he takes it just short of the 40-yard line for about 5. Eric Weddle there to make the stop. For Vince Young, he has gotten it done on the road throughout his young NFL career.
Yeah, he loves playing on the road. He calls it the big stage, and that this Titan team's different from those of the past couple of years. More confidence, fewer turnovers, the reason for this 5-2 record.
Now we'll call it a 2nd and 6 for Tennessee. Much more balanced than a year ago when they were a run-oriented team. Little shake and bake move, and they're able to collapse on Johnson. The numbers are not what they were a year ago. Kevin Burnett ranging over to make the play. Starting offense for Tennessee, Jake Scott, Mr. Dependable, 96th consecutive start on that offensive line in his NFL career, formerly with Indianapolis. Backs and receivers, Chris Johnson, still one of the elite running backs in the NFL, just not putting up those eye-popping numbers from a year ago, and doesn't have the big explosive plays from last year as well. Damian Williams in as a 3rd receiver now for Tennessee on a 3rd and 5 from the gun. Young throws up in the air and broken up. He was looking for Washington. Opportunity there for Eric Weddle, and Tennessee will punt after its first possession of the day.
Yeah, this should have been picked off by Eric Weddle. This ball, ill-advised throw by Vince Young into double coverage right here. The ball hit Weddle in the face mask and then in the chest and then to the ground. That would have been huge for San Diego. Something positive, a turnover, something they haven't been able to get in the last couple of games.
Yeah, Weddle told us they really like this matchup with Tennessee. They know that Tennessee tries to be a physical team. They match that physicality. Brett Kern on the punt. Darren Sproles towards the sideline, and this one goes out of bounds. Tennessee's got the 2-0 lead after the block punt for a safety. We're coming back. Wide receiver Vincent Jackson for San Diego has officially signed. He's not eligible to play until November the 28th. Didn't get the long-term deal that he was looking for. No trade was worked out either. But so many weapons that are not available for San Diego here today. Ryan Matthews carrying the football out across the 20-yard line for Matthews. Stephen Tulloch there defensively. And Matthews, they know it's there. Norv Turner knows that he's capable, but they haven't been able to spool together a lot of production from him over the course of one single game.
Yeah, I think that sprained ankle is finally healthy now, and Turner's anxious to get him as many carries as possible. Already 3 carries for the rookie out of Fresno State.
Had 8 carries last week for just 15 yards. Didn't play in the second half in that loss to New England. On the rollout, Rivers forced to throw it away. Tennessee was fully prepared for that one. William Hayes providing the pressure. It sets up 3rd and 6 now for San Diego.
Yeah, smart play by Rivers. Had 2 receivers coming to this side, but totally blanketed by the secondary of the Titans. And Chuck Cecil very happy with the play of his defense. The defensive line is tied with San Diego, their defense rather, for most sacks, 25 coming into the game. And that's because of the pressure of this front four. They roll in that defensive line. They substitute freely, keep them all fresh. And very good athletes. They play the run on the way to the quarterback.
Chuck Cecil and this defensive unit, they don't let you do any damage in the red zone. They have allowed a lot of long drives against them. The teams don't seem to cash in. Rivers, quick throw over the middle to Patrick Creighton. He's got that release. And Philip Rivers able to make the connection. Creighton is the veteran of this group, and although he's still a new member of this team after the deal with Dallas, Creighton is paying off dividends.
Well, Rivers likes his craftiness. You see how he checked out the defense as he was running that route, seeing where the soft spot in that zone was, and Rivers with that patience to wait for him to get to that spot, and the quick delivery gives San Diego a huge first down.
And a 15-yard hookup to the veteran Creighton. So new set of downs for San Diego to work with out across the 35. Rivers. Short throw, set it up for Matthews. Matthews maintains his balance, and Matthews has got a first down as he works it to the perimeter. Ryan Matthews on the catch and run for San Diego. 13 yards.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. Watch as the defensive end here comes up the field. That's Jacob Ford, and now the broken tackle there. And that's breaking a tackle of Will Witherspoon, who's an outstanding tackler, 36 on the year. But that's a glimpse of what you were talking about, Ian.
Darren Sproles now in there with Gary Banks, who was just activated off the practice squad because they needed another receiver out of Troy University. Sproles is buried. That play never got going. Witherspoon, who missed the tackle on the last play, completely ready for that play in the backfield. It's a loss.
Well, the Titans very smart with the defense here. Witherspoon, number 92, on the blitz. When Sproles is in the game, you're probably going to get a pass play or a draw or screen. Witherspoon saw the screen that time, shot the gap, and dropped Sproles for a huge loss.
5-yard loss, 2nd and 15 now for San Diego. Tennessee with a 2-0 lead after a blocked punt that resulted in a safety. 3rd time that's happened to the Chargers this season. To the air. Rivers throws towards the sideline, a low throw. Patrick Creighton is there, and it's ruled a clean catch against Cortland Finnegan. Now they're saying that it was trapped. A juggle from Creighton. It'll be 3rd and long for the Chargers.
Yeah, this was a long throw, too, off balance. Boy, he had his hands underneath it, and I think that's a good catch there. His left hand, his left hand will pull this ball into his chest. This is worth a challenge. And there goes the challenge flag from Norv Turner. That is a good catch, it appears, from that angle. And that's a beautiful angle for it to appear from.
Boy, it certainly looks like he was able to cradle the football and avoid any contact between the nose of the ball on the field.
Challenging the ruling on the field, and an incomplete pass.
Veteran referee Bill Levy was the announcement. Patrick Creighton telling the bench, hey, I got that clean. And Norv Turner's going to trust his wide receiver. We'll come back with the decision in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by the new Ford Edge. The world has never seen a crossover quite like this.
Ruling on the field was incomplete pass. Here's Bill Levy.
The receiver did get his left arm under the ball. It is a catch. San Diego will not be charged a timeout. We'll put the ball at the 41.5-yard line and measure, it'll literally be third or first. San Diego's not charged with timeout.
Well, there was some indecision initially. It was ruled a catch. Second official came in, overruled, said incomplete. And on replay, they determined that he was able to cleanly bring that ball in.
Yeah, you don't see any bobble there. And that's the key. When he rolls over, the ball is still firmly pressed against his chest with both hands. So that's a good job of Bill Levy going under the hood and seeing exactly what we saw.
And now a measurement after the catch from Patrick Creighton.
You know, that type of play and that type of reversal, this type of thing that San Diego needs, something positive to happen, especially after the block punt for the safety.
Chargers, a 3-game losing streak at Oakland, at St. Louis, and New England. And just a little bit short of the first down. Over that 3-game losing streak, Dan, 8 turnovers, 0 takeaways. They're -7 in turnover ratio overall. That's the second worst in the NFL. They've lost 12 fumbles. That leads the NFL. They had 18 turnovers so far, 17 all of last season.
Yeah, and a lot of those fumbles were from guys that have just not handled the ball very much. You've got Jacob Hester, rookie Ryan Matthews, Mike Tolbert just in his 3rd year, is not as a running back, has not had a lot of carries. So Turner says we've got to get the ball into guys with experience.
Throw Richard Goodman into that mix as well from last week. 3rd and inches. Tolbert plowing his way for a first down out across the 40. Needed just a few inches, and he gets much more than that. First down for San Diego. Watch fantasy football today. Get the last-minute news and analysis that you need to set your fantasy league lineup. It's live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, only on CBSSports.com. Line of scrimmage is just short of the 39-yard line of Tennessee. San Diego is driving after going 3 and out on its opening drive. Had a punt block, resulted in a safety, and the Titans with a 2-0 lead over the Chargers. Matthews single setback. Rivers to throw. He's got time. Rivers throwing. Incomplete. It bounced on Antonio Gates. Gates has been dealing with a toe injury himself. He drew Gerald McGrath, the linebacker, in coverage.
Well, there's so many wide receivers that are out that Gates is going to be seeing some action as a wide receiver, covered there by Finnegan, the cornerback. But this ball got all the way into Gates, and this should go down as a drop pass right through his hands. Finnegan may have distracted him, may have bumped his left arm, but you can see the double coverage. The Titans know that Gates will be a main target for Rivers today.
He has at least 1 touchdown in 10 of his last 11 games, just putting up huge numbers at the tight end spot. Swing it to the outside, and it's Ajira Tutu, the rookie out of Fresno State, with his 3rd career catch. Alteron Werner there defensively to touch him up. Well, coming back from 2-5, Dan, it doesn't happen often. Since 1990, only 3 teams that opened 2-5 made the playoffs. The Saints in 1990, the Lions in 95, and the Jets 8 years ago, who finished at 9-7.
And you go to look at that Saints record of 8-8. Of course, the Chargers made the playoffs a couple of years ago with that exact same record.
9-yard pickup. No team that started 2-6 has made the playoffs. 3rd and short. Rivers. They've got the first down to Antonio Gates on the sprint out. Phillip Rivers making the connection to his #1 target. And out of bounds. New set of downs for San Diego to work with. 3rd conversion on this drive for the Chargers.
Well, one way you get a big guy like Gates free is to move him. And on 3rd and short, as this play was, all he needs is to use that speed of his to get to the outside. He beats the linebacker McGrath right there for the huge conversion for San Diego. Gates, playing on a bad toe, was kind of rolled up on his ankle by McGrath at the end of that play.
First down from the 24 of Tennessee. Rivers, handoff, Matthews. He hit the hole hard, but Tennessee able to recover quickly with Will Witherspoon. Witherspoon's turned out to be a good signing for this team, formerly with Carolina, St. Louis, and Philadelphia. Just a steady veteran, now in his 9th year in the NFL.
You know, and talking to Marcus McNeil on Friday, back as a left tackle, the shutdown left tackle, as he likes to refer to himself as, this offensive line now is back to being the unit that was so effective blocking the last few years, especially for LaDainian Tomlinson.
after the 2-yard gain. 12th play of this drive. Inside handoff. And Matthews trying to bust his way forward. Picks up a couple more. They are inside the 20. Give him a gain of about 4 on the play. McGrath there to make the stop for Tennessee. Sets up 3rd down, and we'll call it 5. 2-0 lead. Tennessee in front. And Vince Young getting iced. Young himself dealing with a sprained left knee and an ankle. He suffered it against Jacksonville. He was the number 2 QB last week. Kerry Collins got the start, threw for 3 touchdowns, also had 2 picks, and then he injured his hand, a torn flexor tendon, his middle finger on his throwing hand. 3rd down, empty backfield. Rivers out of the gun. Rush coming. Rivers unloads. It's complete. Antonio Gates staying on his feet. And a 1st down inside the 5 for San Diego. Chris Hope making the play defensively. San Diego now knocking on the door.
You may have to triple team Antonio Gates to stop him, especially on 3rd down. He's just so good at feeling his way through the defense. Look at the route right here. Fakes to the inside, comes back to the outside, single coverage by Michael Griffin, and then the desire to get inside the 5-yard line. Good protection up front, good pass off there between Jeremy Clary and Luis Vasquez.
15-yard pickup. 1st and goal. Give is to Matthews. Ryan Matthews keeps the legs churning. He's brought down short of the goal line. Senderick Marks combining with McGrath. And Matthews lost his helmet in the process.
And here comes the battering ram. Mike Tolbert into the lineup.
Mike Tolbert, at least 1 rushing touchdown in each of the last 4 games. Now in his 3rd season out of Coastal Carolina. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. Brandon Dombrowski has checked in as an eligible receiver and an extra offensive lineman. Tolbert in the backfield. Chargers looking to go in front. It's Tolbert driving forward. He's in. Touchdown Chargers. San Diego takes the lead. 4:33 to play, 1st quarter. And a long drive for the Chargers.
Well, we talked about him being a battering ram. Watch him hit Michael Griffin, number 33, right in the hole, and the linebacker there. That's Stephen Tulloch. Just rolled them both over. He gets so low. He's only 5'9" to begin with, but he weighs 245.
And he can dunk a basketball down. Powerful legs. Mike Tolbert, the extra point is good. A 15-play, 83-yard drive. It took 7 minutes and 27 seconds and a 7-2 lead. San Diego. Mike Tolbert caps off an extended drive for San Diego to take the lead. We're going to see the Tennessee offense coming on the field in a moment. And our Fouts focus, which means we're going to see one of the emerging wide receiver stars in the NFL.
And that's Kenny Britt. He's embarrassed the Eagles secondary in a variety of ways last Sunday. On the fade, he used his speed and then leaping ability for that score. And then on the corner route, watch how he adjusts to this underthrown ball, comes back to it, then he'll race 80 yards to get into the end zone. And once in the red zone, the good old sluggo route got him his 3rd score of the game. 7 touchdown receptions on the year now for Kenny Britt.
Kenny Britt was allegedly involved in a bar fight last week. He was benched for the 1st quarter by Jeff Fisher and then put up career numbers the rest of the way against Philadelphia. Mark Mariani, the return man. Mariani is tripped up just short as he crossed the 25-yard line. Dante Hughes with a tackle. Britt and the Titans offense when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of The Home Depot. And by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
7-2 San Diego in front of Tennessee. Halloween has hit Balboa Park here in the San Diego area. And the Chargers offense putting San Diego in front. Young dialing up the long ball. Separation. Kenny Britt can't haul it in. Long incompletion, and Britt is down. Kaysen and Paul Oliver back deep.
Yeah, he had to stretch out for this ball. This might be a leg injury of some type for Kenny Britt. Pressure on Vince Young by San Diego as they came with the blitz, so Young just let it fly. Saw the man-to-man coverage. Just comes about a yard too far for Britt. Check out those legs. They'll check him out.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
San Diego with a 7-2 lead. Wide receiver Kenny Britt limping off the field, grabbing the back of that right leg. They're already a little thin at wide receiver, the injury to Justin Gage. Chris Johnson getting to the outside and zigzags his way. Along the sideline.
Anton Kaysen's number 20. He's going to put his arm right there. That should have been called for illegal contact, but that little bump there is why Britt can't catch up to this ball for the touchdown, and why Britt may have pulled his right hamstring.
6-yard gain for Johnson. Lavelle Hawkins is in at receiver. Donald Strickland is an extra defensive back now for San Diego on a 3rd and 4. Young operating out of the gun. Young steps and throws up top. Rainbow delivery to Jared Cook. And Cook down the field. Just his 3rd catch of the season. 2nd year tight end out of South Carolina, who's got all kinds of potential and a big gainer of 36 yards.
Well, and here he is in the backfield, just coming out on the wheel route. Beautiful throw by Young and a good adjustment by Cook to fade away. But that's a matchup that Young would like to see all day long on the linebacker. Number 99 there for San Diego. That's Kevin Burnett. And Weddle knocks him out of bounds.
Inside San Diego territory, just inside the 30-yard line. Damian Williams is in at receiver for Tennessee. On 1st down. Handoff, Johnson. Good vision by Johnson. He picked the right hole and accelerated through it. Got it out across the 25-yard line. Give him a gain of 5 on the play. Eric Weddle there defensively to make the stop. Weddle among those Chargers that talked about the fact that Tennessee acts tough. They are physical. They're known as a physical team. And the Chargers like the challenge. And the Chargers have dominated the Titans in recent years. Tennessee claims, hey, we're a different team now.
Yeah, I think the San Diego defensively are a different team, too. They're faster. They're not as big, but they certainly are a more cohesive unit.
On a 2nd and 5, Young timing route up top. And broken up. Damian Williams, the intended receiver, to match up with the old veteran Quentin Jammer. Physical corner. We asked the Titans about Jammer. They really believe he's been less aggressive this year.
Well, he's very aggressive on this play. His hands are all over Williams. That ball got through to Williams. Should have made this catch, but that is pass interference if you've ever seen it. Very aggressive play by Jammer, and he gets away with it, maybe because he is one of those old pros.
3rd and 5. Ron Rivera's defensive unit ranked 1st overall in the NFL. It's not translated into win. Some movement. And we'll get our first penalty.
Start. Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that's 7-year veteran Jake Scott, who has a degree in civil engineering from Idaho.
Well, watch Stephen Cooper. He's going to come up and put pressure right up the middle here. He makes that move there, and that gets Scott to jump off sides. But San Diego has been very consistent in their pressure on Young. Expect them to come after the quarterback one more time.
Back it up 5 yards. They're testing Young, and the curiosity, is he as agile as he normally is because of those injuries, the knee and the ankle? Deep drop for Young, and a throw over the middle. Finds the open man, Lavelle Hawkins, just his 2nd catch of the season, and Tennessee continues to march on this drive. That's a 19-yard pass and catch and a 1st down with Britt looking on.
And it's the young receivers, Jared Cook earlier, now Lavelle Hawkins, with Gage out, and now Kenny Britt on the sidelines. Young is going to count on his younger receivers to make plays, and they're coming through for him.
Now you could see the frustration of Kenny Britt coming off a career day last week. He put on a show against Philadelphia in the 37-19 win. 1st down. Johnson running into a crowd up the middle. They can't bring him down. Stephen Cooper among those there, and they finally had a whistle to play dead. On the road, Chris Johnson, incredible. 8 straight 100-yard rushing games away from Nashville. The NFL record for most consecutive road games with 100-plus yards. The great Barry Sanders bridging the 96 and 97 season. Jared Cook sets up on the outside. So that's Cook at the top of the screen on a 2nd and 7 now for Tennessee. They are inside the San Diego 10. Delayed handoff. And San Diego wasn't fooled. Johnson cut down by Travis Johnson, the 6-year veteran formerly with the Houston Texans. And we come up on 1 minute to play in this first quarter.
And that's the key to stopping Johnson. Eric Weddle says that we got to be gap sound. Everybody has to be in the right spot. They've got to trust the call by Ron Rivera, trust that their teammates will be in the right place where they're supposed to be, contain and keep Johnson inside.
On 3rd down now for Tennessee. Movement, and it was coming right up the middle. Tennessee pointing to San Diego, Chargers pointing the other way. Bill Levy will sort it out.
I think it's Vaughn Martin, the Chargers defensive tackle, that jumped first.
Encroachment. Number 92 defense. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
You are correct. Vaughn Martin out of Western Ontario, now in his 2nd year, a 4th-round pick in 09.
Yeah, and after he jumps, he very sheepishly points to the Titans. There's the jump, and now watch this. Didn't even get the sheepish point at the Titans.
It was sheepish, though, wasn't it?
Bah.
3rd and 2. They could still get a 1st down. Young, pump. Young throws, broken up in the end zone. Williams wanted a flag, and Quentin Jammer living up to his last name.
Well, you know, you've got 5 yards to work with. You can make contact with the receiver for 5 yards, and that's what Jammer did on the rookie out of USC, Damian Williams. Top of the right side of the screen, 17 and 23 there. That's legal there. And then the reaction in the right hand, keeping the left hand off the back as the ball coming in. That's an all-pro play by Quentin Jammer.
And a short field goal now of 21 yards for Rob Baronis. Titans trying to inch closer here against San Diego, and Baronis knocks it through. That's 18 straight games with at least 1 field goal for Baronis. 7-5, San Diego in front. Late stages first quarter, San Diego leads by 2, and coming up tonight on CBS, Chiquita Corporation's Top Banana is going undercover. He's working the line and slipping up on the job. Don't miss an all-new Undercover Boss. That's tonight, only CBS.
Great hold here by Brett Kern. The snap from Ken Amato is a little bit low, but look at the hands here. Picks it right off the ground. Even got a chance to spin the ball for Rob Baronis, and Baronis is true again.
So Baronis able to hit the 21-yard bunny. Vince Young 2 of 4 on that drive for 54 yards. Looked like they were going to get the long ball to Britt. Not only didn't he catch it, but he got injured on the play. Baronis kicking off to Sproles. Sproles squeezing through 2 special teamers, and then brought down short of the 25-yard line by Jason McCourty on special teams. 2011 Pro Bowl balloting. It's underway for a chance to send your favorite players to Hawaii for the 2011 Pro Bowl. Vote online or vote on your mobile phone. NFL.com/Pro Bowl. You vote, they play.
Well, it sure looked like it might have been a face mask on Darren Sproles here. Watch this. How can you not see that if you're an official?
Now that is McCourty that got the face mask of Sproles, and no penalty on the play.
Almost blinded Sproles.
McCourty is back. He was out for the last 4 games with a broken forearm, and making his return today. Ryan Matthews gets the call, and Matthews driven backward, met by William Hayes, and he was able to pick up a yard on the play. End of the first quarter, San Diego with a 7-5 lead over Tennessee. We'll have second quarter action coming up from Southern California. This is the NFL on CBS. San Diego with a 7-5 advantage over Tennessee. We start play in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, and the rest of our CBS crew here on Halloween. 2nd and 8. First play of the second quarter from San Diego. Rivers throwing. It's a high throw and incomplete. Randy McMichael, the veteran tight end, was the intended receiver with Witherspoon there in the area defensively. Well, this is how things set up in the AFC West. San Diego has dug itself a hole. Denver lost earlier today in London to San Francisco. Oakland in action as we speak. And Kansas City gets the win in overtime against Buffalo to improve to 5-2 on the season, Dan.
Well, they got off to a great start when they upset the Chargers on Monday night to start the season, and they haven't looked back so far.
It is a hamstring injury for Kenny Britt. His return is questionable, and it's been a rough 9-day stretch for the young receiver. Step up and throw. Rivers hitting Creighton in stride, and Creighton has a first down out across the 35-yard line. Patrick Creighton is now in the spotlight, a 16-yard gain because they just don't have the wide receiving core that they're accustomed to.
Yeah, that's 3 catches now in the first half for Creighton, 21 on the year. The key on this play is Rivers stepping up into the pocket. I mean, that just gives his offensive line such great confidence that they can run the defenders beyond him, and then the receiver opens up right in his throwing lane.
Philip Rivers, huge numbers this season. It's Matthews up the middle, and Matthews short of the 40-yard line. Jason Jones there defensively. Well, this is what San Diego is missing in the passing game. Floyd is out with a hamstring injury. Nene, he's the third quarterback, but he is not available as a wide receiver because of a hamstring injury. Buster Davis is out with a rib injury, and we talked about Vincent Jackson, who just rejoined the team on Friday officially, but Jackson will not be available until late November. He can play Week 12 at Indianapolis. This is a long, drawn-out story between Jackson and the Chargers. A bitter contract dispute between the two sides. Shotgun formation. Rivers throws. He was hit as he threw to Sproles, who was the intended receiver, out on the flat. And it sets up 3rd and 9. Jacob Ford with the heat.
This is what the Chargers are missing. A difference maker on the perimeters, what Vincent Jackson's been the last couple of years. 9 touchdown receptions last year. And he told me he's anxious to play. He will suit up, as you said, Ian, in a couple of weeks. And that's what the Chargers may need at that time, unless they've dug themselves a hole they just can't get out of.
You had an exclusive chat with him. He did not speak with the media after signing, just released a statement.
Well, I'm an alum, and he respects alum.
You've got juice, there's no doubt. 3rd and 9. Rivers out route, hauled in by Creighton. A flag on the play. He's got a first down out into Tennessee territory across the 50. But we'll see what this penalty marker is, which was thrown back at the 39-yard line of the Chargers.
Illegal formation. Number 66 offense was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that's the starting right tackle, Jeremy Clary, in his 4th year out of Kansas State, which negates that first down catch for Creighton.
Well, right here is Clary, and you can see he's back just a little bit, but that's a real picky call. But look at this is why. On the outside is number 93, Jason Babin, and he wants to line up wide. And to get that angle, Clary will kind of cheat back a little bit. That takes away a good pass from Rivers to Patrick Clayton one more time.
Well, Tennessee, 25 sacks this season. Along with San Diego, these two teams have gotten a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And Tennessee doing it with new faces. Dave Ball, Jason Babin, Rivers on 3rd and long, looking to run. And Rivers slides down. He never had a lot of room in front of him and got bunched up as Jacob Ford was able to sniff it out. And the Chargers are forced to punt.
Yeah, real good pressure by the Titans this time. They brought a safety blitz to the left side of the screen. Rivers steps up in the pocket, but this brings up the ever-exciting 4th down and punt formation for San Diego.
So 4th down, Mike Cyphers. This is always an adventure now for the Chargers in punt formation. Mariani is back, and you hear the sarcastic applause that it was a clean punt, a 63-yard punt, and a touchback out to the 20. 7-5, San Diego in front on Halloween. costumes galore in Southern California. Odd score here in San Diego, 7-5, Chargers in front. Tennessee with the football out of the 20-yard line. Play action, Young to throw, protection holds up, and finds the open man, Damian Williams out of USC. And Jeff Fisher has been very happy with the development of the third-round pick. Damian Williams has got a first down. It covers 26 yards.
Yeah, Mike Heimerdinger says he's just got great football sense. He talked about the fact that he came out of USC. Quickness, he's made plays in every game, and he wants to see, Heimerdinger does, more yards after the catch, just like this. He picked up an extra 7-8 yards, got out of bounds.
Had 70 catches for over 1,000 yards for the Trojans last season, a third-round pick. So new set of downs across the 45-yard line. Young again, look at the time. Young, deep ball, Jared Cook, incomplete. Cook unable to bring it in. It'll be 2nd and 10 with Weddle and Kaysen back deep against the talented tight end.
Now, how about that throw by Vince Young? Threw it about 70 yards in the air, but you can see that Cook gets all turned around here trying to adjust to it. He saw Weddle coming over. I think that may have distracted him. Right there, he takes his eye off the ball and lets it go right through his hands.
Is that on Young or is that on Cook?
Well, a little bit underthrown, but Cook has got to make that adjustment. But that's a young player just in his second year.
On a 2nd and 10 now for Tennessee. Chargers crowd the line. Running play, it's Johnson. And nowhere to run. Johnson could not get past Paul Oliver in run support. Oliver, who has stepped in for Steve Gregory, suspended by the NFL 4 weeks for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing drugs, and Oliver's done good work at that safety position. Third and 11 now for Tennessee. Young so far is 3 of 8 for 80 yards. Johnson has been held to 19 yards on the ground. Shotgun formation, buying some extra time. Young throwing on the move, and a strike downfield to Lavelle Hawkins. First down, Tennessee into San Diego territory. That's a 22-yard hookup drawn up by Mike Heimerdinger.
Yeah, and it's Vince Young's mobility in the pocket that allowed this completion to Hawkins way down the field. Working against Jammer, a little bunch route here. That's well designed by Heimerdinger as Nate Washington clears out the safety Weddle. And Hawkins gets in there free.
Now Vince Young, success on the road, 14-6 record away from Nashville in his career, 30-15 overall. Javon Ringer is in the game, and Ringer has been effective this year. 5.5 yards per carry. Antonio Garay, first man to get to him, as he picks up a yard, maybe 2 on that play with forward progress across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Ringer's a different type of runner than Chris Johnson. He's got great speed, not the type of speed Johnson has. But he hits the hole a little bit harder with a little bit more force at 5'9", 207 pounds.
2nd and 8. San Diego with a 7-5 lead. Second quarter now with 9.5 to go first half. Young throws on the short pop to Craig Stevens. And Craig Stevens taking it right to the goal line. Paul Oliver finally brings him down, and Stevens was that close for the touchdown.
I think this is a touchdown. I can't believe they don't give him a touchdown. It appeared he rolled across the goal line. Surprising speed for, actually he's on the left side here. A little out route against the linebacker, Kevin Burnett. Broken tackle there. Here's Oliver, hits him at the 9. That's a touchdown. Ball landed right on the goal line. No need to challenge though, because you're just 6 inches away from getting in the end zone anyway.
First and goal. Tennessee trying to go back in front. On a handoff for Johnson. Puts the head down and is denied. Ran into a brick wall at the 1.
Well, maybe it is worth going back and challenging.
Not now.
Nope, too late now. But that's part of the reason why Chris Johnson's average is down this year. They're using him a lot more in these short yardage and goal line situations, averaging just 4 yards a carry. And this time it's just a headache as San Diego stuffs that middle. Good job that time. Number 90 is Antoine Applewhite.
They had Lendale White in this role last year. Second and goal for Tennessee. Fake the handoff. bootleg. Young throwing. Touchdown! Stevens has got it for the Titans. Tennessee in front here in the second quarter.
First career touchdown catch for Craig Stevens, a third-year player out of California. It's a screen. It's a little bootleg. And he does a nice job of slipping behind the secondary. The mobility of Young makes that an easy Titan touchdown.
So Stevens seeing more time after the departure of Algie Crumpler to New England. Stevens getting involved. Jared Cook has been involved in the absence of Kenny Britt. Titans have been looking for other avenues in the passing game. And Baronis with the extra point. So Tennessee in front. Vince Young. Get to know your referee day here in San Diego.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network. The new Silver Bullet aluminum pipe from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by GMC, the official vehicle of the NFL.
Eight plays, 80 yards. It took just over 4 minutes. And Young with a 1-yard touchdown strike to Craig Stevens. Tennessee in front, 12-7 over San Diego. Let's take you back. Dan, I know you like when we turn back the clock. First AFL championship, January 1st, 1961. It was these two franchises. The Houston Oilers at that point beat the LA Chargers 24-16. Played at Jepson Stadium in Houston. Billy Cannon named MVP of that vintage video, 24-16, the final.
Yeah, you saw Paul Lowe get in the end zone. I don't believe Lance Allworth was on the team at the time, or the Chargers would have won.
Oh, that would have been the difference, huh?
Absolutely. Bambi, are you kidding?
Rob Baronis kicking off to Darren Sproles, who will return this one from the 2. Sproles has an opening and across the 20, raced his way across the 25 and cut down at the 27-yard line by Vincent Fuller on special teams. Well, it's the 38th all-time meeting, but the last time that Tennessee defeated San Diego, have to go back to September of '92. They were known as the Houston Oilers back then. George H.W. Bush was the president. Price of gas was just over $1 per gallon. The #1 movie that weekend, Last of the Mohicans. Daniel Day-Lewis, the #1 song. You're actually listening to it right now, Dan. End of the Road by Boyz II Men, and Brett Favre made his first career start for the Green Bay Packers, and guess what? He started again today.
And that was your ringtone, right?
That was. It still is my ringtone, my favorite song of all time.
It's funny, back then you had a cell phone.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was ahead of my time with Boyz II Men.
You and Maxwell Smart.
Who? Who's that now?
Agent.
Oh, yeah. Don Adams. Mike Tolbert met by just about everybody on that Tennessee defense. 12-7, Titans in front. 7:38 and counting left in this first half. San Diego, their wins this season have come at home. Blowout wins over Jacksonville and Arizona. All their losses have been by 8 points or less. They're 2-5. Rivers on the short throw. It's Tolbert, and Tolbert met quickly out to the 34-yard line. Tackle made by Will Witherspoon, the first man there.
Yeah, both these offensive lines have done a good job protecting the quarterback. We talked about how both defenses have 25 sacks in just 7 games. That leads the NFL, but so far the offensive lines have provided the protection. But Tennessee, they're so good at that front four. They can drop 7 and play coverage behind that pass rush. The Chargers need to bring linebackers and safeties to bring their pressure on Vince Young.
Well, right now the Titans have 7 defensive backs in the game on a 3rd and 4 to match up with San Diego. Play clock winding down. Rivers gets the snap. It's Sproles who can't handle it. Darren Sproles tried to turn upfield. That's the old run before you catch it routine. And now San Diego facing a 4th down.
And this is going to be a 1st down. You can see there's nobody out in front of Sproles. Just over anxious. That's all it is. And this has kind of been what has happened to the Chargers this year, not being able to make the play when they need to make the play.
Cyphers on to punt it. Mariani standing at his own 15-yard line. They came, and Cypher was able to get rid of it. Mariani from the 9. slowed down at the 20 and then dives forward across the 25-yard line for Tennessee. That's where Vince Young and the Titans will take over on offense with the lead here in the second. The MetLife Blimp is providing today's aerial coverage. Look for the MetLife Blimps as they team up with CBS for more of the action this season. Qualcomm Stadium, located in the Mission Valley area here in San Diego. It's an area you know quite well, don't you, Dan?
I used to work here.
Yeah?
Actually, it was more play than work.
So it was not work. A little bit of both. Young throwing, high throw, it's handled by Washington, and Nate Washington able to turn it upfield and get extra yardage out across the 40-yard line, and a pickup of 17 on the play.
You know, he has 6 completions now, make this number 7. And most of them have been between 17 yards and 36 yards. That one touchdown pass, the 1-yarder to Stevens, but Young is getting it done down the field. That was great patience and a beautiful throw.
Good move by Washington on Quentin Jammer, and a first down for Tennessee at the 43-yard line. To the running game. Johnson yet to bust a long one. And Johnson sidesteps his way back to the line of scrimmage. Eric Weddle slides through to make the play. AFC South, Tennessee at 5-2. Houston, Indianapolis 4-2. The Jacksonville Jaguars with a win in Dallas today to improve to 4-4, one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL.
And it's payback time for the Colts as they host the Houston Texans.
Second and 9. Young straight back. Another deep ball and a flag down as Hawkins extends. There was contact. Quentin Jammer down there defensively. And the penalty marker thrown right away.
Yeah, it's an arm bar, Ian, forcing the receiver.
Pass interference. Number 23 defense, grabbing the receiver's arm. First down, spot of the foul.
The Chargers arguing that this ball landed out of bounds, therefore was uncatchable. But watch the contact here. Lavelle Hawkins, and really no need for Jammer to touch him there because he was running stride for stride with Hawkins.
27-yard penalty. Doubtful that Hawkins would have been able to make the catch either way. Tennessee on the move now. Pitch. Johnson trying to get him to the outside. Johnson doubles back the other way. Chris Johnson has some room to work with. Good block by Young on the near side, and Johnson able to turn it upfield, and he goes all the way. Touchdown, Johnson. Tennessee takes it in. Terrific individual effort by Chris Johnson, 29 yards.
And he ran 129 yards. This was designed to be a sweep play to the near side, totally bottled up. Watch the Chargers do a great job right here initially. But when you have talent to be able to stop and start and make guys miss and then use your speed, and how about the block out in front by number 10? A key block by Johnson, stays in bounds. The Chargers don't see that. He thought he went out of bounds. Touchdown for Chris Johnson.
They had him trapped. He was trapped, and Johnson busts out of it.
He was trapped 4 times.
Extra point, Baronis. And the fans antsy here in San Diego as Tennessee has opened up a 19-7 lead. The magic of Chris Johnson on the ground takes it the distance.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Viagra and by Dish Network. Let's watch TV.
Whoa, that's a good-looking kid, but what's going on there? No reason to get physical at the table. Is that a mask? 19-7 Tennessee. Chris Johnson. A treat for the Titans as Baronis kicks it off to Darren Sproles for San Diego. And Sproles cut down as he crossed the 25-yard line for the Chargers. 4:37 to play in the second quarter.
Well, this is a outstanding play, obviously, by Chris Johnson. Chargers do a good job right here. Look at all the blue shirts around Johnson, but for some reason he decides to cut it back. He's going to make one guy miss right here, and then we'll take advantage of his quarterback getting out in front. The Chargers not be able to get him out of bounds. He clearly stayed in bounds. 8th rushing touchdown. That leads the NFL for Chris Johnson.
Rivers pocket holds up and gets rid of it to Jacob Hester, who darts out of bounds. After the touchdown, Vince Young decides, you know what, Chris, you've done enough running on the play. I'll take over from here.
He's shouldering the load, isn't he? Getting out in front, blocking. The other big play on that drive, that short 3-play drive, was the pass interference when Young threw the ball deep, and another good deep pass to Lavelle Hawkins, and Jammer got called for the PI.
Yeah, we asked Jeff Fisher, is Johnson frustrated he hasn't been putting up the same numbers as last year? He said no. He's been very close to breaking some big plays, and that was an example of it as Ryan Matthews is spilled out. And Matthews brought down just short of the 35-yard line by Jason Babin, who's playing excellent football right now at the defensive end position.
A little trick-or-treat on Halloween. Chris Johnson giving a football to that young lady.
I don't think she's taking it. I think that's a San Diego cheerleader, no?
I bet she takes it. That's a souvenir.
3rd and 3 now. And a 4-receiver set. Darren Sproles in the backfield. This crowd is listless here in San Diego. Rivers in some trouble. Rivers stays on his feet. Little flip. And they've got the first down. Ajira Tutu into Tennessee territory. Rivers told our group, watch out for Ajira Tutu. He's going to get opportunities here today.
And I'm confident throwing the ball to him at any time and any route, but how about the effort by the quarterback? Again, finding the spot. He get hit in the face right there. That's not called. Almost over the line of scrimmage before he finds Ajira Tutu. Ajira Tutu, the college roommate and present roommate of running back Ryan Matthews at Fresno State. Big play there for the rookie.
Rivers said he is a very sharp guy. Just tell him what to do, and he does it. Very coachable. Rivers, play fake. Nice setup. Antonio Gates to the outside. Gates along the sideline, and finally brought down inside the 10. San Diego in business. A 1st and goal coming up for the Chargers on the 33-yard catch and run.
Did Gates catch this ball with one hand or what? Watch number 85 blocking and then releasing the high. Yeah, he just stuck his left hand out there.
Effortless.
Gets a block out in front by Creighton and then takes the ball down inside the 10-yard line. 2 big plays from the Charger passing game. First, Ajira Tutu, and now the all-pro Antonio Gates. Wow.
He makes it look so easy. It's a big sequence coming up for San Diego as we hit the 2-minute warning in this second quarter. 1st and goal coming up from the 7 for the Chargers. Tennessee up 19-7. Philip Rivers, 11 of 17, 154 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. An opportunity here for San Diego. 1st and goal from the 7. Matthews gets the call. He's got the angle. Touchdown, Chargers. San Diego climbs back into it late stages second quarter.
You know, Norv Turner had been running Matthews between the tackles exclusively in this first quarter, first half, and now they go wide, and it's the speed of Ryan Matthews. Great block that time by McMichael, and then on the outside, it's just too much speed as Matthews shows he is 100% healthy.
So San Diego able to cash in. Chris Brown, the former Houston Texan and Pittsburgh Steeler, is kicking today. He had left ankle trouble. Keep in mind he's replacing Nate Kading out with a right groin injury as Brown converts. And some pushing and shoving after the extra point from both teams. 19-14 Tennessee with 1:55 to play in the second quarter. A 5-play, 72-yard drive. It took 2 minutes and 48 seconds for the Chargers.
Well, it's a pitch play. Hester gets out in front, and good blocking right here at the point of attack. McNeil shows his speed. He just bothers Michael Griffin enough to allow this man to use his speed to get to the corner of the end zone. Watch McNeil here. That's pretty agile, as he could have got called for holding if he would have been able to hold Griffin a little bit. That left hand way out in front. 336 pounds of Marcus McNeil clearing the way.
7 straight wins for San Diego over Tennessee. Last meeting was Christmas of last season, a 42-17 win for the Chargers. LaDainian Tomlinson and Darren Sproles each had 2 touchdowns in that game, en route to the 13-3 record for the Chargers, one of the favorites in the AFC playoffs before getting clipped by the Jets. Now, last week, fumbles, turnovers, part of the undoing for San Diego. 3 first-half fumbles. They actually held New England to 179 yards of offense, and the Chargers came up short against the Patriots 23-20. Brown will now kick it off. Mark Mariani is deep, standing at the goal line. Tennessee up by 5. Mariani drops the football. Able to scoop it back up, and he is spun down at the 16-yard line by Richard Goodman on special teams. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. Join JB and company for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Go back to the touchdown run. Key block by the fullback, Jacob Hester. He's the lead back on this sweep play. He's going to cut down the linebacker right there. It's a huge play. And Matthews gives the Chargers a real lift here at the end of the first half. Both teams have all 3 timeouts.
Shotgun formation. Ball officially at the 15-yard line. Handoff for Johnson. Stutter step emerging through the hole. And Johnson brought down just short of the 25-yard line as Johnson slithered his way for extra yardage and a 9-yard gain.
Now, there are very few guys in the league that make you hold your breath or scoot a little bit further forward in your chair. He certainly is one of them.
Went for 142 yards in that loss to San Diego last season. But he went for 142 plus against basically everybody. Young throwing. And dropped. Bo Scaife, who has not been involved. The other tight ends have. Stevens and Jared Cook. That would have been a first down for Tennessee with 1:16 to play in this first half.
That's very rare for Bo Scaife. He's worked with Vince Young for a long time. Played together at the University of Texas. That ball thrown just a little bit soft by Young. I think Scaife was looking to get on the move after the catch.
3rd and 1. Tennessee trying to convert. Scaife is off the line. Shotgun formation for Young. Handoff for Ringer. And Ringer is driven backwards. He didn't get there. Jacques Césaire, first man there. The 8-year veteran, Mr. Reliable on that defensive line. And Tennessee will punt.
Chargers called timeout. Norv Turner out on the field trying to get the attention of the officials to call that timeout to save time. Here's Césaire right here, number 74. Watch his penetration. He stands up, left guard Leroy Harris, and meets Ringer in the backfield.
So what looked like a certain conversion after the 9-yard run on first down. Tennessee unable to get the first down, and they'll have to punt it on 4th and 1. San Diego will have an opportunity here with just over a minute to play, first half.
That's a heads-up play by Turner, although it was very difficult for him to get that timeout called. He had to go out on the field, pass the numbers actually, tap on the official's back, and signal the timeout.
Norv Turner and Jeff Fisher have some history. Norv was coaching defensive backs when Fisher was a senior at USC. And we asked Norv about that. Norv said, not many guys were listening to me back then.
Well, he had Ronnie Lott, Dennis Smith, and Joey Browner. Browner, being a freshman, was the only guy that would listen to him.
Kern punting. Darren Sproles catches out of bounds. And San Diego will be pinned right around the 26-yard line. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB and the rest of the crew. Scores and highlights all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Following that 49-yard punt, 1:03 to play in the second quarter. QB comparison, Vince Young, 7 of 13. He's got the touchdown to Craig Stevens. Rivers, 11 of 17. No touchdowns and no major mistakes either.
There's a penalty on the Chargers for holding, so they'll be backed up 10 yards from the point that the punt went out of bounds. So that will make Rivers' task just a little bit tougher as they're all the way back to the 18-yard line.
So San Diego will have a long way to go here, but obviously they'll take a field goal as well with 1:03 to play in this first half. The San Diego defense has not forced a turnover in the last 3 games. Ranked number 1 overall in both offense and defense, and to see that 2-5 record reminds you that stats can be so misleading. Rivers swings it out. Sproles, spin move, and Will Witherspoon with the stick on Darren Sproles. Clock is moving down to 52 seconds and counting. San Diego has 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, this is where you got to be pretty conservative, though, because of the place on the field the Chargers are and how much distance they have to go.
Out of the shotgun formation, Sproles is tripped up, tried to get back up and gain extra yardage, and they will mark him down at the 26. Alteron Werner touching him up. And they'll have to use one of those timeouts with 29 seconds to play. And Tennessee in front, 19-14. Coming up Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings you a critical matchup. Heisman winner Mark Ingram and the Crimson Tide of Alabama tangle with the LSU Tigers. The good times roll live at 3 Eastern, beginning with TIAA Prep College Football Today right here on CBS. Now Chris Brown, target line would be the 31-yard line on the other side of the field. And right now, San Diego just has to think about converting here and extending this drive and using the clock well.
That draw play, Sproles would have had a big gain, but he just tripped as he was getting through the line of scrimmage.
This team averaging just under 423 yards of offense per game. Rivers throwing underneath. And Darren Sproles has got a first down. Brought down out across the 30-yard line. 22 seconds remaining in this first half.
That's twice now that on this drive the Chargers have dumped the ball short to Sproles, and the Titans have done a good job of making sure he can't get to the sideline, forcing him back inside, then tackling him and making the Chargers use their timeouts.
And that's it for San Diego. They've got 22 seconds to work with. They'll have to operate along the sidelines and get out of bounds for Norv Turner if they have any chance of setting up Chris Brown here in the waning moments of the second quarter.
And what you see is the Titans bring in an extra defensive back. Jason McCourty move Alteron Werner to the inside as a nickel back, and remain with their 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers. Witherspoon having a heck of a first half.
First down for San Diego. 22 seconds to play in this first half. Tennessee with a 19-14 advantage. Shotgun. Rivers steps. He throws. Sideline route. Caught by Creighton and ducks out of bounds with 17 seconds to play. They're trying to chip away here, but they're going to need a play downfield with 17 seconds left.
Yeah, they need about 30 yards to get to that target line for Chris Brown. And how important is that target line? Just go back 1 week for San Diego when Brown had a 45-yarder lined up, and the Chargers had a false start, moved him back 5 yards, and he hit the upright with a potentially game-tying field goal from 50.
It was Luis Vasquez called on the false start. Downfield, intercepted. McCourty has got the pick for Tennessee. McCourty trying to stay on his feet. Down to 7 seconds left. McCourty circling now towards the sideline, and McCourty gets out of bounds with 2 seconds remaining. Second pick of the season for second-year pro Jason McCourty out of Rutgers, and a penalty marker thrown back near midfield.
And the flag came after the interception. It was illegal blocking on the return. This ball trying to get squeezed into the
return of the
0-2-2.
interception. Illegal block in the back. Number 20 of the intercepting team. 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul, first down.
And it's Werner called on the illegal block right there on Sproles. And that was when McCourty was looking to duck out of bounds.
Well, and with Barones' leg, he has a career 60-yarder. That illegal block prevents him from even attempting a long field goal.
Tennessee, 13 interceptions this season, most in the NFL. Rivers pressing a bit. Late stages of the second quarter, just trying to make a play downfield. So they'll take a knee here with 2 seconds left. And Tennessee will head to the locker room with a 19-14 lead on the road against San Diego. We'll come back. The Sprint halftime report. JB and the rest of the game back in New York after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. First half storylines. Vince Young returning from injury. He is literally carrying the offense here today, and the Chargers rally. Playmakers, Rivers, Gates, Matthews coming up big in the first half. 19-14 Tennessee in front of San Diego as we get ready for third quarter action. Right now, let's take a look at the points of protection presented by Allstate.
Well, very good pass protection for Vince Young in that first half. And he's been able to buy time and get the ball down the field. It's been the long pass that's been the specialty for the Titans. And San Diego, will you please give Mike Cyphers time to punt the ball? His first punt today blocked. That went out of the end zone for a safety for Tennessee. That's why we have this weird 19-14 score.
Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Tennessee, one thing that stood out so far this season, they're just solid in all phases, and that has not been the case for San Diego, part of their undoing this season. Chargers are a desperate team, and let's see if we see some of that desperation in the second half.
Well, they could certainly use a turnover caused by their defense or special teams. Anything to get a positive momentum flowing for San Diego. So far, it's all been Tennessee. Vince Young has come back from leg injuries, had an outstanding first half for Tennessee. Philip Rivers, his usual toughness in the pocket, making plays down the field. Big rally at the end of the first half for San Diego.
And Tennessee is going to get the football first. Mariani on the move. Up the middle. Mariani trying to take it to the outside. He does. Turns the corner and turns on the Jets to the outside. Forced by Chris Brown towards the sideline. And an excellent run back for Mark Mariani, who almost took that one the distance. He does have a touchdown this season of 98 yards. First half stats. Rushing yards, 59 of them for Tennessee, but we saw that Chris Johnson play that went the distance. Johnson wrapping up with 57 yards on the ground. Vince Young, a lot of deep balls. Kenny Britt out with a hamstring injury, did not return after suffering it in the first quarter. Johnson in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Double tight end set. Fake the handoff on the move. Young has the ball slapped down as Sean Phillips provided the pressure on the QB.
And the first half for Tennessee, take a look at their possessions. You can see they started off slowly, but then got it rolling. And the long drive, the 8-play, 80-yard drive, and then a short 3-play drive that was aided by a pass interference on Quentin Jammer.
Last year against San Diego, Vince Young, 8 of 21 for 89 yards and 2 interceptions, 42-17 loss on Christmas. Give is to Johnson, and Johnson is stacked up. Never got any forward movement. He was moving side to side, and Cesare and Burnett buried him.
Well, last play, it was Sean Phillips, a linebacker, making a play. Watch this time, number 99 on the left side of the screen, Kevin Burnett. He will force Johnson back into the inside where Antonio Garay is. 2 good defensive plays to start the second half for the Lightning Bolts.
And a loss of 3 on the play, sending up 3rd and 13. Tennessee with a 19-14 lead, early stages of the third quarter. From the gun, Young rifles to the sideline and nobody home. In the area was Damian Williams, but a lot of Chargers over in that vicinity, including Eric Weddle. It's 4th down.
See both quarterbacks on pace to throw for over 300 yards this afternoon. And the rushing is big touchdown by both Chris Johnson and Ryan Matthews.
Brett Kern will punt it. Ken Amato is the snapper, and Sproul standing at his own 11-yard line for San Diego. Kern averaging 44 yards per punt with a long of 68 this year. Sproles up the middle. And Sproles trampled down as he crosses the 25 by the snapper, Amato. And a penalty marker on the play.
So this is holding against Tennessee after the punt, so this will add 10 yards to the end of the return for San Diego.
Number 68 of the kicking team. 10-yard penalty be tacked on to the end of the run. First down.
And a shaky start of the second half for Jeff Fisher and company. 19-14, Tennessee leads it. San Diego has the football when we return. Both teams effective on offense today. Tennessee with a 19-14 lead. San Diego takes over at the 37. Set up the screen for Ryan Matthews. Throws down one of his blockers. Sheds a tackle and then spin move out across the 40-yard line. Hard work there by Matthews. Physical rookie, 6 foot, 218 pounds. And Matthews did a lot of work to pick up just a couple.
You can see the Chargers starting the day with that blocked punt that led to the safety, and the interception at the end of the first half, kind of a desperation type of situation, trying to get in field goal range.
This San Diego team has won the AFC West each of the last 4 years, 5 of the last 6. 2nd and 8 now. Rivers over the middle, low throw, and it's incomplete. Randy McMichael, the tight end, the intended receiver. And fans reacting, thought there might be a penalty called against Tulloch. No flag on the play. 3rd and 8 for the Chargers.
Defensive coordinator Chuck Cecil can't say enough nice things about Stephen Tulloch. He says he's his voice in the huddle. He can make all the adjustments. He got a total command, and that time very tight coverage on the tight end.
3rd and long for the Chargers. Just underway in this second half from San Diego. Shotgun, Rivers. Throws. Open man into Tennessee territory. He connects with Ajera Tutu. The rookie out of Fresno State has been a factor here today. That one covers 14 yards.
Yeah, that's his 3rd catch for 48 yards, and that is big, working against Cortland Finnegan, one of the best in the game. Actually, look at Finnegan gamble a little bit. He thought that Ajera Tutu was going on a crossing route, and Rivers, with that gun and that quick release, got the ball to his receiver, Ajera Tutu, before Finnegan could react.
Spreading it around with Creighton, Gates, Ajera Tutu. 1st and 10, handoff for Matthews, and Matthews is trampled as he got just short of the 45.
Real difference maker for Cecil and this Titan defense.
Chuck Cecil, San Diego native out of Helix High School. A lot of question marks last year. This defense got off to a rough start through the first 6 games, and then you could feel the turnaround building, and it's carried over into this year.
Yeah, their whole team was off to a horrible start last year, and they really did turn it around midseason.
Line of scrimmage just short of the 45 on a 2nd and 8. Rivers, quick pop. It's Hester over the middle and brought down just short of the 40-yard line by Tulloch, the middle linebacker. So give him a gain of 4 on the play. 3rd and manageable now for San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego on 3rd downs have been very good this afternoon. 8 out of 11 converting. Got a little bit of momentum building from that good 3-and-out defensive stop, and now this drive for the offense.
The numbers have been prolific for Rivers this year. 2,344 yards coming into this game. 3rd most passing yards ever through 7 games in NFL history. On a 3rd and 4 from the gun. Rivers steps up, and Rivers able to get rid of it. Rivers makes the connection to Darren Sproles, and a 1st down. Doing work after the catch as Sproles hit the perimeter.
Yeah, you can see the adjustment the Chargers have made with all the wide receivers out with the various problems. Sproles getting involved. Ajera Tutu passes to Jacob Hester and the tight end Gates. Rivers has total command of the offense, knows where everybody is on every play.
17-yard pass play, Rivers to Sproles, and a 1st and 10 just inside the 25 of Tennessee. Rivers on a give. Matthews straight up the gut, and Matthews carrying defenders with him as he crosses the 20-yard line. Effective run as Amon Gordon was there defensively, third-year veteran, formerly with Cleveland and Denver and Baltimore out of Stanford.
And that time it's off the right side. Nick Hardwick, the center. Luis Vasquez, the right guard. Jeremy Clary, the right tackle. And Chargers are getting some good push up front now out of that offensive line.
Matthews with 35 yards rushing. That was a gain of 7. A 2nd and 3 now for San Diego. They trail 19-14. 9:40 to go in the third. Quick toss. Ajira Tutu can't do anything with it after the catch and flag down. Hit by Alteron Werner on the outside. Penalty marker on the play.
Outside. 93 defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Sounded like Jason Babin, the defensive end, former first-round pick in 2004 of Houston, has played with Seattle, Kansas City, and Philadelphia. 6 sacks this year, and Babin got caught on the offsides.
Yeah, good play by Alteron Werner there at the end of this play to keep this from being a big gain, but you go back to the just a little bit of a flinch by Babin into the neutral zone, got him the offsides.
And a 1st and 10 at the 12. It's a pitch. Matthews staying low to the ground. Somebody lost their hat, and he got hit hard by Michael Griffin. It was a loose helmet there from Chris Wilson, the third-string tight end.
And now Matthews is down. He was just impatient on this run, trying to make something happen. Kind of was stumbling as he made contact with the defense, and his hat is off, and they're checking him out.
The number 12 pick, Ryan Matthews, has had a tough time staying healthy in his rookie year out of Fresno State, and we'll step aside here in the third quarter.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Acura. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
And here in San Diego, we want to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing aerial coverage of all the action below. Look for the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 when they pass through a town near you. Ryan Matthews injured on the play, shaken up, and Matthews was able to get up and walk off to the sideline. Also, no Antonio Gates on this drive. No word yet from the Chargers what the issue is with Gates. So we've seen McMichael and Chris Wilson out there. 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1 for Matthews. Sproles now on the field for the Chargers. Shotgun, Rivers throws underneath the coverage. Gary Banks making his first NFL reception off the practice squad in 2008 and 2009 from Troy University. And he picks up 2 yards on the play, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Gates just coming back from the locker room and getting his gloves on, and I would suggest you just keep on jogging right into that huddle. Young man, we need you. It's red zone, 3rd down. This is Gates time.
Sure is. Antonio Gates had a pregame pain-killing injection last week for his toe injury before that loss to New England. 10th play of the drive on a 3rd and 9. San Diego down by 5. We approach 8 minutes to go in the third. Working from the gun. Rivers in some trouble. And Rivers unable to break free. Jason Babin got him by the ankles, and he was not going to let go. A sack for Babin and the Titans defense.
Babin made the mistake by being offsides earlier in this drive. He makes up for it with this sack here. 93 is Babin working from the inside. A lot of determination to go around that pile, dive at the quarterback's legs and bring down Rivers. Look at the low leverage that Babin gets and the speed and explosion to the quarterback.
First sack of the day. Chris Brown on for the 34-yard field goal, and it's good. It's a 2-point differential. Right now it's the safety that's the difference. Coming up tomorrow on Hawaii 5-0, a Navy SEAL on the edge. Is he a loving father or a brutal killer? Don't miss TV's #1 news show. It's tomorrow, only CBS. Well, the difference in the game right now, scoring-wise, is 2 points. A safety early on, the block punt by Schomer.
And Schomer got inside of Randy McMichael, who's a 9-year veteran, blocking on the punt team, and he totally whiffed on Schomer.
Chris Brown kicking off. Mariani is dangerous, standing now at the 5, fields cleanly at the 6. Mariani shoots through the middle, slowed down, and Mariani could not stay on his feet across the 30-yard line. Tyrone Carter on special teams, getting him down low. So San Diego has to settle for the field goal to cut it to a 2-point game with 7:40 to go in this third quarter.
And the last time the Chargers were on defense, they shut down the Titans in just 3 plays. In fact, they lost 3 yards on 1 run, and that was when they had great field position out to the 45-yard line. Now, this is good field position to start again. We'll see how the Titans respond.
On first down from the 31-yard line, Johnson in the backfield. Craig Stevens in front of him. Young looks downfield. Young throws on the hesitation, and he's got his man in stride, Nate Washington, who scampers out of bounds. Washington with an excellent route and just kept on going into San Diego territory, and it covers 30 yards to the 44.
Well, absolutely no pressure at all on Vince Young. Look at this pocket. 4-man rush for San Diego. Young doesn't have to move at all in the pocket. That allows the receiver, Washington, to come all the way across the field, use his good speed to get away from the defense.
Well, Vince Young told us the high ankle sprain was actually more severe than the knee injury. It affected his Achilles, but he has not looked affected at all here today by any kind of injury. Handoff to Johnson, stumbles. Antonio Garay playing solid football up the middle as he crosses the 45-yard line. Kenny Britt, he has suffered an injury. It was a hamstring down.
Yeah, he was stretching out for this long pass from Vince Young in the first quarter and pulled his right hamstring. And that's a huge loss for Tennessee, but they haven't really been affected by it. They've gotten other guys involved. Washington's got 2 catches. Lavelle Hawkins 2. The tight end Craig Stevens with a pair.
2nd and 10 now for Tennessee. No gain on that first play. Young again has time, but cannot make the connection to Williams, matched up with Kaysen. 3rd and 10 for the Titans.
We talked about how good the Chargers have been doing converting 3rd downs. The Titans right about at their average, just 3 of 7 so far. Crowd getting involved now will make it difficult to make any changes of plays at the line of scrimmage.
This Tennessee team 13-4 since starting last season at 0-6. Scaife and Stevens are parallel to Young from the gun. Young slings it, incomplete. Paul Oliver got a piece of it as Oliver continues to play at a high level from that safety spot, and it's 4th down for Tennessee.
Now defensive coordinator Ron Rivera deciding to just come with 4, drop 7. Here you can see the bunch route for Hawkins on the inside and Williams on the outside. And there, number 27, Oliver, flashing in front. I don't think Young ever saw him. If that ball is caught by Oliver, he may take it the distance the other way.
Brett Kern will punt it, averaging 44 yards per kick here today. Amato will snap it. Sproles is waiting at the 10-yard line. No rush, high punt from Kern. Sproles is going to let it bounce. And it takes a Tennessee roll. Will settle in right around the 9-yard line. And that's where San Diego will take over. 19-17, Tennessee with a lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. And by Sony and Sony Internet TV. Television and internet together at last.
Halloween here in San Diego, Tennessee with a 19-17 lead. That's Barbarella Restaurant in beautiful La Jolla. San Diego with the football. Gates is out there now for the Chargers, and Rivers' pass is short, looking for Creighton. It's incomplete. Everybody was asking me, what are you going to go to the game? What costume are you going to wear? I said, look, I'm a professional. I'm not doing that. I said, but Dan is dressing up as the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah, that's my idol right there, baby.
You are the most interesting quarterback in the world.
Well, you know, I don't go to football games often, but when I do, I want to go with you, my friend.
What a costume. That is eerie. On a 2nd and 10. Mike Tolbert out across the 10-yard line. He carries to the 11, and Jacob Ford there defensively, along with Stephen Tulloch. San Diego deep in its own territory, just trying to create some room for itself right now. 5:50 to go in the third. It's 3rd and 8.
Yeah, this has been the worst starting field position for San Diego the entire ball game.
Now this San Diego team, a 3-game losing streak, and they've lost in a variety of ways, just wacky plays throughout the first 7 games of the year, mostly on special teams. 3rd and 8. Chargers looking for a conversion. Titans bringing the heat. Rivers gets rid of it. Intercepted. Michael Griffin has got another. Griffin trying to tiptoe his way, and he's in. Touchdown. Penalty marker thrown at the 18-yard line.
Going to be holding, and it appears it's against the Titans.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 33 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Michael Griffin has interceptions in 4 straight games. This one will not go down as a pick. It's called back.
Yeah, because he was holding the receiver. Azura Tutu, number 89. That's Gates, number 85 right there. There's the hold, the grab of the back of the jersey, and that's all it takes to give Griffin the leverage to cut in front, make that pick. But the officials see just this little tug right there.
Tyrone Green is now in the game on the offensive line for San Diego. Handoff for Tolbert. And Tolbert taking it to the outside. Big run by Tolbert, dishing out some punishment along the way against Alteron Werner. Mike Tolbert, 3rd year from Coastal Carolina. What a rip. 36 yards.
Longest run of this season for Mike Tolbert. This is just what the Chargers need. Jacob Hester with the block there, but the hole on the left side behind Marcus McNeil opens up, and the little big man gets rolling down that sideline all the way into Titan territory. And there's the punishment you talked about, Ian, working over the rookie Alteron Werner.
Brought down at the 48 of Tennessee. New set of downs for San Diego. Play action. Rivers throwing up top, looping to Gates. Antonio Gates is gone. Touchdown, San Diego. Penalty marker thrown.
Roughing the passer penalty. This touchdown will stand.
The touchdown is good. The 15 yards will be enforced on the kickoff.
And all of a sudden, it's all going the Chargers' way. That's a 48-yard hookup for the score.
Well, and I think that the league's going to get into Jason Babin's pocket for his low hit at the knees on quarterback Philip Rivers. Rivers survived the hit, and he finds a wide-open tight end on a linebacker. Witherspoon pulls out his towel, but can't bring down the big man. Here's the shot on the knees by Babin. You just can't do that.
Oof. If this was flag football, that would have been a tackle on Antonio Gates. Extra point, Chris Brown. And San Diego with a 24-19 lead. 4:20 to go in the third. Gates, he is a touchdown maker week in, week out. Another Chargers record for Philip Rivers, at least 1 touchdown in 21 straight games, topping the previous mark held by my partner Dan Fouts. He likes to do them when Dan is actually in attendance.
Yeah, it's thrilling, you know. It's
yeah, it is, isn't it?
He's such a great player. He's going to break a lot of records for him, a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah, how about this throw to Gates? You know, reading the defense, you know, anticipating the coverage, the man-to-man coverage by a linebacker on your all-pro tight end. And here is the hold against Michael Griffin on that all-pro tight end that cost Tennessee large.
So think about that sequence. It negates the pick 6. And then San Diego goes right down the field to take the lead. Handoff. Johnson spins out of trouble initially. He's not going to spin out of it for long, though. Eric Weddle holding his ground and charging forward for San Diego. It'll be a loss on the play.
Well, that's a similar type of run he had when he scored his 29-yard touchdown run, where he reversed his field. Makes a couple of guys miss, but Weddle with a beautiful form tackle wrapped up both legs.
And a loss of 5. If not for that 29-yard run, Johnson is staring at 13 carries for 20 yards. He's got 14 for 49 and a touchdown. Second and 15. Johnson in the backfield. Young short drop. Quick toss to the flat, and Johnson scoots towards the sideline. He's out of bounds, out past the original line of scrimmage, so he's able to pick up 7.
Well, you wonder how much the loss of Kenny Britt has affected play selection for offensive coordinator Mike Heimerdinger. There you see Britt on the sidelines. He pulled his hamstring trying to make a catch on a deep pass from Vince Young back in the first quarter. And since that time, it's been tough for the Titans.
We did ask Britt about that situation last week at a club in Nashville. He said, I can't talk about what happened. I'll let the situation play out, and it will be handled. The case is still open. Young, deep ball, sideline, Washington, out of bounds, incomplete. Quentin Jammer, stride for stride with a deep threat, Nate Washington, and that was a very quiet 3-and-out for Tennessee.
That's the second 3-and-out for Tennessee, or for the San Diego defense, if you will, here in the third quarter. So they have ratcheted up their defense, holding Johnson quiet and then forcing Vince Young into desperation throws.
And Young is now 9 of 20 for 182 yards and a touchdown. Brett Kern on for the punt. Sproles at his own 31-yard line for San Diego. Low snap. Kern handles it. And a booming kick from Kern, backpedaling as Sproles. Takes it cleanly at the 16. Sproles dances his way out across the 20, and then he is thrown down on special teams. Penalty marker.
Kick, holding, number 57 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
And that's linebacker Brandon Lang called on the hold, so they'll back it up. 63-yard punt for Brett Kern. Tonight, the Amazing Race teams are in Russia, where they'll have to dig for their next clue and make movie magic. Don't miss a new Amazing Race after 60 minutes. That's tonight, only CBS. Well, Philip Rivers, most passing yards through the first 8 games of a season in NFL history. He is number 1. I can't tell who number 2 is. Breeze is 3rd, and Gannon is 4th. Yeah, that guy again.
That guy. Boy, I have to have a talk with Norv Turner. Don't they run the ball anymore?
Number 14, Dan Fouts, a beloved figure here in San Diego. Needed extra security to get inside the stadium.
Yeah, right. I got patted down in my old stadium.
That's true.
I went through my bags and everything.
They brought a
I
second
had to
patter.
show ID.
I know.
A
They did
picture
ask for
ID
ID
at that. They said, that's not you.
They didn't ask for my ID. That was weird. Tolbert on the handoff. Tolbert. And he carries to the 13-yard line on first down. Time for an update to New York and JB.
Ian and Dan off of a Brett Favre deflected interception. New England's Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis capitalizes with a 13-yard TD run. That puts the Patriots up by 21-10 that late in the third. And the only reason they patted Dan Fouts down, they wanted more private time with him, Ian. You know that. Back to you guys.
Yeah, it's true.
Excuse me?
Yeah, JB, it's
awkward.
weird. People were coming out of nowhere. And whistles and flags on this second down play. Bill Levy.
Encroachment. Number 94 defense. 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
And that's Senderick Marks in for the injured Tony Brown on that defensive line.
And the killer about that penalty is, Bill Levy just said, automatic first down.
7 penalties costing Tennessee 55 yards. 5 penalties called against San Diego. Well, we asked Jeff Fisher about the matchups against San Diego in the past. The only team he has never beaten in his NFL head coaching career. He said, hey, 2007, we had them beat in Nashville, lost in overtime. Chris Chambers trapped the ball, but they got the call and scored with 8 seconds left to tie it, then won in OT. Tolbert with a spin move. Tolbert stepping in for Ryan Matthews, who took a pop earlier and lost his helmet. And Matthews, we have not seen him since. Again, some temper after the play. We've seen a lot of pushing and shoving from these two teams.
Yeah, they're very familiar with each other, and they're very physical, prideful teams. San Diego excited. That offensive line was excited to go against this outstanding defensive unit of the Titans. Now they're getting a little chippy.
No injury update on Matthews, so this appears to be a coach's decision right now with Tolbert. He'll get involved in the passing game. Tolbert with a spin move out along the sideline. And Gerald McRath over there to make the play. Just want to make sure everybody's okay there as Tolbert seems to get tied up. Oh boy, Tolbert needs help.
Yeah, it got twisted around at the end of that run, and I remember Ryan Matthews had his helmet taken off the last play that he was in. He got a cut on his face that they've been checking out. Tolbert trying to walk off this injury. Chargers are going to run out of ball players.
Right now it's Darren Sproles checking in at that running back position. Play clock is winding down. 1 second. Rivers able to get the play off. Hand off to Sproles. Darren Sproles off to the races. And Sproles brought down at the 40-yard line, chased by Michael Griffin. Darren Sproles shooting through that hole, and Stephen Tulloch got fooled.
Watch the quickness of Sproles. Running behind his offensive line, Chris Dealman on the pull. That was just a huge hole as Nick Hardwick had a key block. Griffin tries to rip the ball out there at the end of the third quarter.
And a 32-yard run for Mighty Mike Darren Sproles. We head to the fourth. 24-19, San Diego in front. We start play in the fourth quarter here at Qualcomm. The stadium opened up back in 1967. In that third quarter, San Diego outgained Tennessee 174-24. And it's the Chargers in front, 24-19. First play of the fourth quarter. Ryan Matthews back in there, shooting through the hole, and Matthews very close to first down yardage. Stephen Tulloch again with a miss, and Matthews able to take advantage on the acceleration.
Yeah, this is just what the Chargers needed coming into today's game with all the injuries to their wide receivers, is a strong running game. Matthews has had his moments. Mike Tolbert got just ripped off that 32-yarder, and Darren Sproles had a big run earlier.
And a 2nd and 1 now for San Diego. Tolbert was getting his left ankle take. Movement on that line. Handoff goes to Jacob Hester. And Hester's got a first down with a penalty marker on the play right at the line of scrimmage.
Another neutral zone infraction against the Titans.
7 penalties today against Jeff Fisher's squad.
Offside. Number 74 defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, where does Reagan's former budget chief think your taxes are going? His answers may surprise you. And come along for a ride with the greatest filly in racing history. That's tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS.
Speaking of clocks, you can see the Chargers' time of possession about 12 minutes better than Tennessee. In fact, they've run 56 plays to the Titans 37.
21 first downs for San Diego, 10 for Tennessee. Matthews nowhere to go. Dave Ball involved defensively to help bring down Matthews, a former member of the San Diego Chargers. Ball was actually drafted in the 5th round by San Diego back in 2004 out of UCLA.
And he's hurting a little bit as he heads to the sideline. A lot of comparisons from the Charger players about Ball and the great Kyle Vanden Bosch, although Chuck Cecil wasn't quite ready to go with that comparison. He says there's only one Vanden Bosch.
Ball, the UCLA all-time career sacks leader. 2nd and 10 now for the Chargers. Play fake. Rivers steps wide open underneath. Tolbert's back in there, and Tolbert with the extra effort. He always seems to fall forward and use his strength and weight to his advantage.
And he's pretty agile, too. You see the spin move there while he's being tackled. Quick release from Rivers. Here's the shot on Tulloch. And then just the spin away from McGrath. There he is, 5'9", 243 pounds, and very, very strong in his legs.
And an effective short yardage runner, but he's proven to be more than just that. Good drive here for San Diego, facing a 3rd and 1, very tight formation. They've got a 24-19 lead. Tolbert gets the call, puts the helmet down, and gets thrown backwards. Did not get the first down. In fact, didn't come close. Witherspoon and Tim Shaw combining on the play, and San Diego will have to settle for a field goal try.
Well, if the field goal is good, it does give the Chargers an 8-point lead, so that's what Turner's thinking right now. He likes the way his defense is playing and the way his offense is taking time off the clock.
So Chris Brown, who got the call to fill in for the injured Nate Kading. There was some speculation that Brown wouldn't be available today. By 8 in the 4th.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Coming up, time permitting, after the game, the Subway postgame show. James Brown and company, the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Chris Brown will kick it off for San Diego. Mark Mariani is standing at his own goal line for Tennessee. Moves forward from the 5. Mariani is bunched up out across the 25 and brought down at the 29-yard line. And that's where Tennessee will have the football. Coming up next Sunday, the NFL on CBS serves up doubleheader action. First, the Dolphins visiting Baltimore. The Chargers take on the Texans. Then in Game 2, Peyton Manning and the Colts visit Philadelphia. It all begins with the NFL Today, featuring James Brown and the rest of the crew live at noon Eastern right here on CBS. Now look at Goodman on special teams. The rookie twisted like a pretzel. Now he and Curran, rookies going at it, trying to make a name for themselves. You do it any way you can, especially on special teams. Line of scrimmage is the 29. Johnson in the backfield on first down, 8-point differential. Young has time, throwing, deep ball, wide open, caught. Nate Washington, touchdown, Tennessee. Young hooking up. 2 points away from tying this one up. 71 yards.
And I think the Titans are going to go for 2 here. They're trying to get Vince Young to stop celebrating, but he saw a totally busted coverage from the Chargers here, and he throws this ball as far as he can, and the speed of Washington is there to haul it in, but that was a busted coverage by the Chargers in their secondary.
Second touchdown of the day for Vince Young, 253 yards. Big play from Young and the Tennessee offense. Kenny Britt not available because of a hamstring injury in the first quarter. And now a 2-point conversion trying to tie this game up. 11:43 to go in the 4th. 2-point try. Young swings it for Johnson and cannot make the connection. San Diego holds on to the lead, 27-25.
Boy, after throwing a bomb, a beautiful bomb, Vince Young overthrows a wide open Chris Johnson on the 2-pointer.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by E-Trade, ExxonMobil, taking on the world's toughest energy challenges, and by the all-new Volkswagen Jetta. It's great for the price of good. That's Das Auto.
San Diego 27, Tennessee 25. The deep ball from Vince Young.
This is a 2-man route for Tennessee. And this is Antoine Cason and Eric Weddle. One receiver goes there and then deep here, and watch the confusion between Cason and Weddle. They dropped the coverage on Nate Washington. You got some splaining to do when you get back to the sidelines when this happens.
Well, apparently Tennessee is feeling like I love Nate.
The amazing thing is it was a play action 2-receiver route. So there's all kinds of defensive backs back there, and they still blow the coverage.
Rob Baronis kicking off. Darren Sproles from the 6. Sproles, not much of a lane, squeezes through it, and the spin move brought down at the 33-yard line by Rennie Curran, the rookie on special teams. Flags come down.
I think they're going to get Donnie Nicky for a personal foul here. Number 23 just took a shot at one of the Chargers. And now Bill Levy's going to go over and tell Jeff Fisher what he saw.
There has been a lot of extracurricular activities following the whistle. Bill Levy listened to Jeff Fisher, but it's not going to change his mind.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on number 23 of the kicking team. Hit the official in the chest. He is ejected.
Wow.
Timeout.
Donnie Nicky, a special teams ace, has been ejected. Nicky making contact with an official, and his day is done here in the 4th.
Well, this is very unusual. In the circle is Bill Levy, our official. 63 is Scott Murchkowski, and on the ground is Donnie Nicky. Nicky gets up because he doesn't like Murchkowski holding him down like that. Levy trying to break things up, and Levy gets a shot to the chest from Nicky. Nicky was not trying to hit Levy, he's trying to hit Murchkowski. Anyway, he is done, as you said, and on his way to a shower.
Nicky has been tossed. San Diego with the football after the penalty. Tolbert. Mike Tolbert going airborne and creating extra yards. Good block on that left side by Chris Dielman off the catch and run.
San Diego is such a good screen team, and Tolbert really likes to finish it off by dishing out some punishment, but Dielman got the key block, and then the contact on Tolbert, he made extra 5 yards after that contact.
8-yard gain for Tolbert. 2nd and 2. They are inside the Tennessee 45. San Diego with a 2-point lead under 11 minutes to play. Hester in front of Tolbert. 2nd and short. Tolbert gets the carry. He's got the first down. And Tolbert rumbling his way inside the 40-yard line. And a fresh set of downs for San Diego to work with.
Yeah, the screen pass has the Titans defense moving laterally, and then on the very next play, the Chargers come straight at the Tennessee defense.
Tennessee came in allowing only 16.7 points per game, 3rd best in the NFL. San Diego has put up 27. And Tolbert, nice combined effort on the ground and through the air. First down from the 38 for the Chargers. It's Tolbert. Tough inside running as he takes it to the 35-yard line and a 3-yard pickup. Jason Jones, the stop. Coming up, time permitting, after the game. It's the Subway postgame show. JB and the rest of the gang with the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Injured San Diego Charger on the play.
Yeah, it appears to be one of their offensive linemen. Chris Dielman may be the injured Charger.
We'll step aside.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by FedEx. We understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx.
3-time Pro Bowler Chris Dielman injured on the play. Tyrone Green will step in to replace him at left guard. 27-25, San Diego in front of Tennessee with 9:55 to play.
Well, let's check out Dielman. It's a straight ahead running play for San Diego. A little double team there comes off on the linebacker Tulloch. Not sure what is the ailment, but he's on the bench right now getting checked out.
2nd and 7 after the 3-yard gain. 9:45 to go on the 4th. Little toss to the outside. Matthews battling for extra yardage, and he's cut down by Javon Hay for Tennessee. So Dealman, known as the real deal, a converted defensive tackle. Big San Diego Padres fan. We had a chance last night to catch up with Dick Enberg, Padres broadcaster, your former partner here at CBS, his lovely wife Barbara. That was a great time.
Great evening, great dinner, and a great football game to watch. Was that Oregon?
No, I was watching baseball.
Yeah.
I didn't see the final. What was the final on that one?
I don't know. I think they're still counting.
Timeout. Tennessee.
Titans use a timeout on a 3rd and 11. That's what San Diego faces after this break. 9:03 to go in the 4th. Norv Turner's team up by 2. San Diego has not suffered a 4-game losing streak in quite some time. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp come your way on cable's longest running show, the multi-award-winning Inside the NFL, every Wednesday on Showtime. San Diego has not lost 4 in a row since 2003. That was the year they actually started the season 0-5. Ball control in this half, it is all Chargers. Look at that, 16-27 time of possession. Tennessee got its points on the big hitter, the home run ball to Washington. 3rd and 11 from the 39. San Diego 10 of 15 on 3rd down conversions. Shotgun, Rivers throwing. Antonio Gates has got a 1st down. Gates is tackled inside the 20. Big play, you go to your big play guy. 21 yards for the future Hall of Famer Gates.
Yeah, but it's 3rd down. Isn't he always the target on 3rd down? Weren't the Titans going to double team him because the Chargers had so many wide receivers injured or out in this ball game? This is unbelievable. How many times have we seen this? It's just Gates and Rivers playing catch. He says, Gates, just go on down the field, do whatever you want to do, I'll throw you the ball.
I'm not sure anybody works the middle of the field better than Antonio Gates. On 1st down, Mike Tolbert driving forward and carries to the 15-yard line. He picks up 3 yards. Javon Hay there to make the play.
3rd downs have been huge for number 17 on the afternoon. Check that out. 9 first downs converted out of 11 attempts for Philip Rivers and this Charger. I'm not sure all 9 of them have gone to Gates, but a whole lot of them have.
Rivers' career record here at home, 28-7 at Qualcomm, now in his 7th year in the NFL. On a 2nd and 7, inside handoff. Jacob Hester made one of those miscues last week against New England, and there were a bunch of them. Hay and Ford combining to bring him down. You look at San Diego's record at 2-5 in a hole in the AFC West. So you're saying there's a chance. There have been teams that have started 2-5 that have gone to the postseason, but it's rare. Only 3 teams since 1990 can make claim to that. At 2-6, no team has ever made the playoffs.
Look, I'm going to help the Titans out a little bit right here. This is Antonio Gates.
3rd and 5.
You can see they got 2 men looking at him too, don't you?
We'll see if Rivers looks in that direction. Rivers throwing underneath. Darren Sproles. Did he get there? He did. Touchdown, San Diego.
Now you got to give Norv Turner a lot of credit for using what he has to work with today when he's calling the plays. Look at that effort to get inside the pylon by Darren Sproles. This is a touchdown. Once you hit the inside of the pylon, he is in the end zone. Does he go out of bounds first with that left foot? That's the question. The Titans ought to be challenging this or having a look at it. Too late now.
Extra point was a busted play, and Mike Cyphris just trying to throw the ball towards the end zone.
And you know what that does, Ian? That leaves it as an 8-point game, 1 possession for the Titans. So special teams, another miscue for San Diego. Unbelievable.
It rears its ugly head again for Norv Turner and company. He told us just how wacky this season has been for San Diego. Strange plays every game. And it happens again to the Chargers.
Mike Wint is the snapper. It's a good snap. The ball just dropped by Cyphers. That was a perfect snap, and now Cyphers trying to make like Yaro Premium.
Now Philip Rivers upset, and I think that emotion represents the entire team. It's not easy to win football games in the NFL, and when you shoot yourselves in the foot like San Diego has done countless times this season, there's a reason why you're 2-5. 8-point differential with 6:51 to go in the fourth. Let's take another look at the Darren Sproles touchdown. He's only 5'6", and his balance is so impeccable.
Well, let's see if this foot goes out of bounds right there before the pylon. I think he's well inside that pylon as that left toe touches the sideline. So this is a good call by the officials. What an effort. Look at the two Titans on his back. That was another third down conversion for Rivers and the Chargers.
Brown on the kickoff. Mariani catches at the 7. Mariani looking for blockers, and he's brought down just across the 25-yard line. 6:45 to play. Time for an NFL Today update. We head to New York and JB.
Ian and Dan, Tavares Jackson in Minnesota replacing a banged-up Brett Favre. First play goes to Nafahu Tahi for the 1-yard touchdown pass. The 2-point conversion is good to Percy Harvin. Brett Favre being carted off, but Minnesota has narrowed the New England lead. Formerly was 11. It's now down to 3. Back to Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts.
All right. Thanks very much, JB. That's a tough picture of Brett Favre exiting the field on a cart. Tavares Jackson has come in to replace him, in Minnesota trying to come from behind. Tennessee trying to rally here in the fourth quarter. Handoff to Chris Johnson. Johnson finds a running lane, and Johnson caught from behind by Nwabo.
Heck of an effort by Ugemdi Nwabo, the nose tackle, getting all the way down the field and really saving the touchdown with that tackle. Chargers have really got to make sure they bottle up Chris Johnson because he can go at any time.
It's true. Johnson can lull you to sleep and then break a 65-yard touchdown. Young's going to run. And Young goes down head first at the 39-yard line, just short of the 40.
Yeah, he's slow to get up, too. In fact, he's not getting up at all right now. You know, he's got a bad left leg. He injured it a couple weeks ago, missed last week's game against Philly.
It was a left knee and a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, he grabbed that left ankle immediately. Or does he grab his Achilles?
It happened against Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to take a break.
Vince Young trying to get out of the pocket, and I think he might have injured his left Achilles tendon. He said it was sore with a combination of knee and ankle injury that he suffered against Jacksonville, but watch that Achilles right there. It appears he stretched it quite a bit, and now he's looking for a place just to go down on the ground.
And now Kerry Collins is in. Vince Young is on the Tennessee sideline. A 2nd and 6. Collins, who started last week and led Tennessee to a victory over Philadelphia. Flags are down.
We got to get David Stewart for offsides.
Start. Number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's big David Stewart. Vince Young, let's go back to the injury against Jacksonville.
Yeah, trying to pick up a fumble. He gets bent over backwards. His left ankle was sprained. His left knee was sprained. And he told us yesterday that it also affected his left Achilles.
Well, you asked him about playing through that injury. Would he be willing to run? And Young said, I've played through a bunch of injuries in my career. I won't be shy if I have to run, although I'm not going to look to run necessarily. He ran on that play, and it cost him. Collins over the middle to Chris Johnson, and Johnson making a beeline towards the sideline, chased down by Kevin Burnett. Let's go to New York right now. Check in once again with JB.
Ian and Dan, after a Hasselbeck pick, take a look at Oakland's Jason Campbell hooking up here with Darius Hayward-Bay. Fellas, this turns into a 69-yard pass play. The Raiders go up 23-0 over Seattle. Wow, 59-14 last week over Denver. Gosh, Dan Fouts, break up the Raiders. Raiders looking good. Back to Ian and Dan.
Wow, they're closing in on a 500 record. That's not something that we normally say about the Raiders at this time of the year. 3rd and 3. Big play here for Tennessee, and Kerry Collins standing tall in the pocket. Delivers. Big hit. Damian Williams took a shot and a flag thrown.
Yeah, but it's San Diego offside, so this will count for Tennessee.
Donald Strickland leveling Damian Williams. Here's Bill Levy.
Offside. Number 98 defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
That's Antoine Barnes, the former Baltimore Raven and Philadelphia Eagle, as the medical staff continues to work on Vince Young in that left ankle Achilles area.
What a luxury to have Kerry Collins coming off the bench, though. He's battled a bad finger on his throwing hand last week. He sprained his thumb on the same hand. That's why some of those passes last week weren't very pretty, except they always seem to find Kenny Britt against the Eagles.
Collins could not practice until Friday. Had 3 touchdowns last week and 2 picks against Philadelphia. First down for Tennessee out near midfield. Collins sets it up and throws. Incomplete. Bo Scaife, the intended target, out along the perimeter.
I wonder if Bo Scaife could see that ball, because he's right in the sun there. The angle of the pass kind of lines up with the shadows here. Knows he's getting close to the sidelines. He had his eye on it the whole way, but he did not maintain possession of the ball throughout the entire act of catching a pass. His feet were in bounds, but he did not control the ball long enough.
Remember, no Kenny Britt left this game in the first quarter with a hamstring injury. 2nd and 10 for Tennessee. Collins with a deep drop. Traditional pocket passer. Deep ball. Collins, and overshoots Nate Washington. 4:40 to go in the 4th. 8-point differential as we head to New York. Check in with James Brown.
Ian and Dan, Tampa Bay running back LeGarrette Blount has been running hard, but take a look here. He gets hit hard, fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by Arizona's Gerald Hayes. He returns it 21 yards to pay dirt. Arizona with 14 points in the last 23 seconds, now trailing by just 3. By the way, Brett Favre, lacerated chin. His return is questionable. Back to Ian and Dan.
3rd and 10, JB, here in San Diego. Shotgun. Collins throwing. Chris Johnson unable to make a man miss. Open field tackle by Kevin Burnett is having a career year, the former Dallas Cowboy. Excellent in coverage, and Burnett makes the play for San Diego defensively. It's 4th down.
And makes the play on the most dangerous man on the field, Chris Johnson, in the open field, too. Collins is just going to let the running back see if he can make it on the ground after the catch. What a tackle by Kevin Burnett.
4th down for Tennessee. 4:03 to play. Clock is now moving in the 4th quarter. Play clock is winding down. Brett Kern will punt it. Not much of a rush there. Darren Sproles just needs to secure it or let it bounce. He lets it bounce. It's going to roll all the way down inside the 5. Penalty marker thrown at the 19-yard line.
That's twice in the second half that Darren Sproles has let the ball hit the ground, and the ball has bounced in Tennessee's favor and really cost the Chargers a lot of yardage.
Now they're icing that left foot.
Holding number 20 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And that's Antoine Cason called on the hold. 48-yard punt. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The game between the Titans and the Chargers. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. 33-25, San Diego leading Tennessee. 60 minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Chargers are 2-5, trying to put an end to a 3-game losing streak. They are pinned back at their own 2-yard line. Movement on the right side from Tennessee, left side of San Diego, Jacob Ford busting through. Bill Levy will sort it out.
Number 78, and the baby to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That is huge for San Diego to give them some breathing room.
Absolutely. And even if San Diego jumps, it's only about a 6-inch penalty anyway. Here's the right end. That's Jacob Ford here. He saw that little bit of a flinch from the tight end, Chris Wilson, on that side, and that's what got him into the neutral zone. The officials did not see Wilson move. Or did they?
There was a false start by number 81 of the offense prior to the defensive player coming across. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Yeah, it wasn't Wilson, it was Randy McMichael, the other tight end. Here he is, number 81, right in the line of scrimmage. Watch him flinch right here, and that gets Ford into the neutral zone. Good communication by the officials to catch that one.
Ultimately, the key is to get it right, and they got it right.
And more pressure on the offensive line and Rivers and the ball carriers coming out of their own end zone.
3:45 to play. Rivers throwing. Rivers getting it to Jacob Hester and just got out of the end zone. Gerald McRath nearly had a second safety on the day.
That would be weird. We started the day with a safety. Are we going to end one with a safety? Great play by McRath. Quick pass by Rivers out to Hester, and he barely gets out of his own end zone.
Boy, the Chargers have found themselves in some strange situations this season.
Wow, no kidding.
Second and long now. Tyrone Green is in there. Inside handoff and a blast up the middle by Hester in his third year out of LSU. Multi-purpose back. Won a national championship with the Tigers and able to secure the football, setting up 3rd and 7.
Tennessee has 2 timeouts. They'll probably be content to let this go down to the, or they're going to use timeout right there. That's heads up, because they got another stoppage of the clock at the 2-minute warning, and they anticipate having great field position, only down by 8.
Line of scrimmage is just short of the 5. Reminder, coming up next here on CBS, we'll have 60 minutes for you immediately after this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Vince Young injured on the previous possession for Tennessee. They are icing the left foot high ankle of Young. He had trouble with that 2 weeks ago, got injured against Jacksonville. Kerry Collins started last week, led Tennessee to a victory, got in on the last possession, but they were unable to convert on a 3rd down, forced to punt, and then off the penalty, San Diego backed up deep in its own territory. You see what San Diego has done in this second half. They have dominated Tennessee, yet the Titans have been able to hang around. Some miscues, including an extra point on a bobbled snap. It was a busted play. Instead of taking a 9-point lead, it's an 8-point lead. On 3rd down, Sproles up the middle, and Sproles will come up short of the first down. Penalty marker thrown at the 5-yard line. Tennessee with 1 timeout remaining. 2:46 left on the game clock.
And you can see it's going to be holding against San Diego. Bill Levy relaying that to Jeff Fisher.
85 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the clock stops on that flag thrown. 2:46 left. And Norv Turner's team will punt it. Tennessee is going to have excellent field position, but they will not have their starting quarterback running the offense. And we know that San Diego has had problems on special teams throughout the season, including punting the football. Cyphers with Mariani standing at his own 38. Cyphers gets it off. It's a high punt. Mariani moves forward. Fair catch. And he brings it in at the 42-yard line of Tennessee.
Well, Kerry Collins had a rough start to begin last week's game against Philadelphia. But boy, did he come on strong in the second half. Most of those 276 yards passing happened in the second half. He did throw 3 touchdown passes, all to Kenny Britt. But remember, Britt is out with a hamstring problem. But Collins with a lot of experience and still a live arm and good field position to start this drive. Again, trailing by 8. 1 timeout remaining for the Titans.
Since this franchise moved to Tennessee in 1997, they are 0-5 against San Diego, outscored by an average of 31-13. Titans trying to rally. Collins throws it offline on a sideline route to Nate Washington. Clock stops, 2:34 left in the fourth quarter.
Remember, the Titans tried to go for a 2-pointer the last time they scored after the Washington touchdown bomb from Vince Young. Young missed a wide open Chris Johnson in the flat. Now they need a touchdown and again a 2-pointer to tie this one up.
Kerry Collins, 2-time Pro Bowler, in relief of Vince Young. The Titans at 5-2. They've got their bye week coming up. Johnson in the backfield on a 2nd and 10. Collins sets it up for Johnson. Johnson taking it to the outside, and Johnson, modest gain there on 2nd down as he ducks out of bounds. Kevin Burnett over there defensively for San Diego, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 6.
And Eric Weddle as well on that screen pass. Weddle got to him early, forced him to go laterally, and then Burnett with good speed closed him to the sideline and out of bounds.
2:27 to go in the fourth.
Titans just 3 of 10 converting 3rd downs today.
Third and 6. Shotgun for Collins. Protection is there. Collins throws. Oh, terrific throw to Damian Williams. And Williams gets up and gets extra yardage after the catch. It's a 1st down into San Diego territory, brought down at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to back him up to where he was down. There was contact after the catch, so he doesn't get that extra 10 yards or more.
We hit the 2-minute warning. Tennessee is on the move. Titans trailing San Diego by 8.
Yeah, big 3rd down conversion for the Titans. Whether Damian Williams is touched by a Charger is up for debate here. He rolls over, didn't feel anything, gets back to his feet, and that's heads up by a rookie. Picked up an extra 5 yards, but there really is no challenge here from the Titans because there's not a good enough picture to see if Weddle or Kaysen had touched Williams.
Tennessee has 1 timeout remaining. A 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of San Diego. 33-25, Chargers in front. Collins, look at him in the pocket. All kinds of time as he throws to the sideline, and it's hauled in by Hawkins. Kerry Collins put that ball on time.
Now this is right on the sidelines, and we'll see if he has his feet in. Makes the catch, and he lands, it appears he lands out of bounds. That should be an incomplete pass. This has got to be reviewed by the booth upstairs in the last 2 minutes. Hawkins caught the ball and landed on the white part of the grass.
Yeah, the right side of his body was clearly out of bounds on that catch. So while we were focused on the feet, the body was not in bounds.
Yeah, his feet were up in the air too when he hit the ground here with the football out of bounds. See, both feet off the ground, the ball on the ground, out of bounds. There's a short gain for Tennessee, so I would suspect that this will come back.
So they will take a look at this upstairs. We've seen definitive looks that he lands clearly on the white. Lavelle Hawkins, 3rd-year wide receiver out of California, possession receiver. He was a 4th-round pick in 2008, acquired in the Pac-Man Jones deal. And Lavelle Hawkins out of bounds. So they'll take a look at it. That's where Bill Levy is right now. Booth review, under 2 minutes to go, 1:54 remaining in the fourth. San Diego with a 33-25 lead on Tennessee. So this Tennessee offense Kenny Britt lost early. Vince Young lost late. It's Kerry Collins to the likes of Damian Williams and Lavelle Hawkins. Others trying to step forward now for Tennessee. Bill Levy has seen enough.
Yeah, this will either be 2nd and 10 or 2nd and about 6.5.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver's left elbow was down in bounds. It's a catch.
The left elbow in bounds.
Boy, I'm not sure if they got high def under that hood or not. His left elbow did hit first.
Boy, that's bang, bang.
That is really...
So that's considered completing the catch with your left elbow.
Yeah, one elbow equals 2 feet, I guess.
There you go. It's going to stand for Tennessee. We'll call it a 2nd and 6. Collins pump. Collins throws. Incomplete. He had Williams streaking down the sideline.
But he had a whole face full of pressure, too. Looked like Antoine Applewhite came right up the middle and put his helmet right in the chest of number 5. Watch number 90 come late on the blitz. Here he comes, and that's why this is not a touchdown pass. Great delayed blitz by Applewhite, having the speed to get to the quarterback just in time.
Damian Williams was able to get outside and get open. Collins was unable to deliver it on time. 3rd and 6 for Tennessee. Rush coming. Collins gets away. Collins directing traffic downfield, throws, incomplete. He was looking for Lavelle Hawkins, who was forced towards the sideline out of bounds. It's 4th down for Tennessee.
Yeah, heads up play by Paul Oliver. Once Kerry Collins gets out of the pocket, as he is right here, watch this action on the top of the screen here. Lavelle Hawkins is going to get pushed out of bounds, and that's a legal play by Paul Oliver.
So here we go with 1:40 left. San Diego with a 33-25 lead on Tennessee. The Chargers trying to hold on. 4th and 6 for the Titans. Collins operating out of the gun. Deep drop. Collins looks. Collins throws, and a comebacker. Lavelle Hawkins with a catch and a 1st down across the 25. Clock is moving, 1:27 to go. This drive continues for Tennessee. They convert on 4th down with Kerry Collins.
And really no need to come up and spike the ball. He can call a play here. A lot of time left and 1 timeout for Tennessee.
Line of scrimmage is the 23-yard line. Collins steps, throws to the far side. It's Johnson, and Johnson gets buried on the outside.
And kept inbounds, clock running. But great mobility by Collins on the previous play to just backpedal and find a receiver very patiently. Still having a strong arm to pick up the 1st down on 4th down.
Tennessee needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Down to 45 seconds left. Collins throwing out to the sideline. Nate Washington short of the 1st down, and he's out of bounds. Touched up by Quentin Jammer. 42 seconds remaining here in the 4th.
Titans now are 3 for 3 converting 4th downs this season. This one may be the most important of all of them. Look at the mobility, just backpedaling, buying time with the fadeaway throw over the middle to Hawkins. What a play by Collins.
Vince Young on the Tennessee sideline, on the bench, nursing that injured left leg. Kerry Collins, the 16-year veteran, is in, and now facing a 3rd and 2. His team down by 8. From the gun, this play whistle dead.
San Diego called timeout.
Timeout was called by San Diego. That's their 1st charge, timeout. 30.
It stops the clock with 39 seconds left. Don't forget, tonight on CBS is all new, beginning with 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Undercover Boss, and CSI Miami. That's tonight only CBS.
Yeah, that timeout was a smart timeout by San Diego for a couple reasons. Number one, it gets them a chance to get some fresh bodies in the game, or give the ones that are in the game a chance to catch their breath so they can mount a pass rush on Kerry Collins. Plus, it gives them a chance to talk over what they just saw as far as the formation, so they can predict what the Titans may do on this next play. So a heads-up use of the timeouts by Norv Turner that time.
Norv Turner, I think you hit it on the head. Chance to give his defense a breather, catch their breath, and now facing a 3rd and 2. Shotgun for Collins. On 3rd down, Collins throwing, end zone, too high. Washington the intended target in a matchup with Antoine Cason, and it's 4th down with 37 seconds left.
And how important now is the injury to Kenny Britt back in the first quarter? Britt is 6'3", a great leaper, scored 3 times last week, one in this exact type of situation. Good route there by Washington, and an overthrown pass by Kerry Collins. He had Cason beat to the corner.
On 4th down for Tennessee. It's a 4th and 2. Collins throws over the middle. It's dropped by Johnson. Tennessee turns it over on downs.
And Kevin Burnett made the play. He got a hand right on the back of Johnson as that ball was coming in.
30 seconds left. San Diego in front, 33-25, and they've got the football.
Here's Johnson out of the backfield. Here comes Burnett closing. That ball should have been caught. Perfect throw from Collins. Right to the hands of Johnson. He just couldn't haul it in. And finally, Norv Turner has something to cheer about.
Now, San Diego has been on the other end of a lot of these types of games. Right now, it's the Chargers in control with 30 seconds to play. Tennessee only has 1 timeout left. 6 drop passes today for the Titans. This will be 8 straight wins for San Diego over the Titans. And that's it. San Diego, a desperate team. Old friends Norv Turner and Jeff Fisher. And it's the Chargers surviving and holding on for a 33-25 win. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, Amazing Race, Undercover Boss, and CSI Miami. For Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from San Diego. Have a happy Halloween, everybody. Chargers win it. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.